Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, you know, I'm coming to educate somebody today.
You are?
Yeah, I'm coming to educate you. And I promise you,
The pants go with them? I don't know.
I can teach you more in 10 minutes than any other debater can
Well,
teach you.
speaking of schools, Jenny.
You got your Raptors colors
Yeah,
on. I
guess
see.
what? Speaking of schools, let me again congratulate the
goodness.
Vanderbilt baseball team for winning the SEC again and the SEC tournament again, and for being seeded second nationally in the NCAA tournament that is about to commence with UCLA right up the street from us, seeded first overall. What is going on with my school? Can you believe it? It's the best school in America, and Belichick took a Vanderbilt cornerback in the second round. And guess what? A Vanderbilt basketball player is going to go fourth overall in the NBA draft, Darius Garland. So what is going on? We got football, basketball, baseball factories along with the best education. How can you compete with this?
I can't. I just want to know
Thank
one
you.
thing. Did you guys win an SEC basketball game?
No, we did not.
Okay.
But now we got Jerry Stackhouse. How about Jerry Stackhouse, right?
Oh, you see,
had to
you
call
keep
it
on
out
wearing
there.
these new outfits trying to compete with me. I noticed that.
I think
That's
it's
a
the other
brand
way
new one.
around.
That's a brand new
How
one.
do you know?
Because I know.
Boy, you fixate on my clothing.
Yeah. Ernestine doing a very good job.
Way to go, Ernestine.
We have a lot to get to on today's show. Has Lonzo played his last game as a Laker? And will the NFL punish Ezekiel Elliott? We will get to the latest, but we are going to start with Steph Curry. He is a big favorite to win Finals MVP. Steph is averaging about 27 points per game in the playoffs, but he's been on fire in the last 5 games without Kevin Durant averaging nearly 36 a game. Steph has won 3 titles and 2 regular season MVPs, but he has never been named Finals MVP. So, Shannon, how important is a Finals MVP to Steph's legacy?
I believe it will be the final missing piece, Skip, to this. This is the cherry on the top. This is icing on the cake, whatever analogy you want to use. This would be the final piece for him. Skip, it's hard for me to believe, and I know I'm going to get some pushback on this, but if he were to win the Finals MVP, I don't know how you keep him out of the top 10 because he would be one of the handful of players, Skip, multiple championships, multiple regular season MVPs, and a Finals MVP. The greats have that. The LeBron James, the Michael Jordan, the Magic Johnson, the Larry Birds. Those are the guys that have that. Moses Malone. It's not easy. It would be a crying shame for a guy of Steph Curry's ilk to have 4 rings and not have a Finals MVP because we automatically assume if you're that great, how can you not have a Finals MVP? And so it's not like he's underperformed, Skip, with the exception of the year that they lost to the Cavaliers. He's been unbelievable in the finals. You look at in 2018, he was 27.5 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Kevin Durant won the Finals MVP with 29, 11, and 7. In 2017, he was 27, 8, and 9. KD was 35, 8, and 5. It's the same thing like Kobe and Shaq. The last year they won the title together, Skip, Shaq was 36 and 12. But Kobe was 27, 6, and 5.
Yep.
You see what's going on here when another player has a historic finals, sometimes you get bumped down. Now, even the year that Iggy won, he was 26, 6, and 6. He was only 24 or 25 points in the regular season in which he won the MVP. I believe the only year that he's underperformed in the finals was the year that they lost because he averaged 30 in the regular season. He averaged 22 in the finals. So you can see, okay, he underperformed in that. But, Skip, if he were to win a Finals MVP, that would be 4 titles, 2 regular season MVPs. Skip, there's only a handful of players that can say, I got multiple regular season MVPs. I got multiple rings. I'm a Finals MVP.
Okay.
You start getting up there with the Shaqs. You start getting up there with the Duncans, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Birds, the Magic. He gets another one. He's Finals MVP. I don't know how you keep him out of the top 10.
So you just called it the icing on Steph's cake if he wins this Finals MVP.
Yes.
I'm going to call it the cake.
Really?
I don't think there's enough cake there.
Wow.
Again, love Steph, loved him before his draft, said I'd take him over Blake Griffin. Everybody said I was crazy, and he has proven me right there. But he has not enough proven me right in the postseason. And all I know is that coming off his second MVP season, when he revolutionized the way the game is played, we've never seen anything like what he did the second one, which was the first ever unanimous MVP season. He led the league in scoring, and he led the league in steals. That's a hard combo, man. And he led it in PER, player efficiency rating. It's pretty great. The year before when he won it, he was third to Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. So he won that. He won offensive win shares, overall win shares, value above replacement player. He dominated every category at the top. Yeah. It's almost impossible to do what he did. And as we know, he's 6 feet. Do we give him 3?
Give him 2.
2, maybe. Okay. And he did that by shooting 45% from the three-point line. It's impossibly great what he did.
Yes.
Looking so baby-faced, so non-threatening, so willowy, right? He's everything we don't see in a dominating NBA star. He's the opposite of what I saw as Michael Jordan, right? Jump man.
Yeah.
Just Michael was so dominating. He's so physically dominating at only 6'6", but could jump out of the gym, obviously jump out of the world. And he got so physically strong that he could just take you down low at the end of his career and score in the low post. Okay, so that guy goes into that postseason, and you know what happened?
Yes.
As you mentioned, in games 4, 5, and 6 against your LeBrons. Nothing happened.
You mean 5, 6, 7?
I mean 5, 6, 7, yeah. So nothing happened because he came up as small as you can come up with at 6 feet, 2 or 3 inches tall. And just real quick for the record in those games, 5 through 7, he shoots 37% from the floor, 36% from 3. And in the fourth quarter of those games, he was even worse. He shot 30% from the field and 25% from 3. And then game 7 was just the nadir. It was just like the hit bottom game. And again, LeBron was great. Kyrie hit the last shot. LeBron had the bicycle built for 2 blocks to chase him. But he did. Okay, so I give you all that. But meanwhile, the reason that door swung open at Oracle was because the unanimous MVP was going 6 for 19, 4 of 14 from 3. And in the fourth quarter, you went 1 of 6 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3 and had that horrendous turnover where he threw it behind his back into about the 9th row, right?
Yeah, that was the Larry O'Brien trophy that he threw out of bounds.
He did. He just threw it out of bounds. And it felt like that, too.
It did.
It just felt like with that turnover that Golden State they're not good enough without somebody else. So then what happened? You said Draymond went into the parking lot crying and called Kevin Durant and said, we need you. And who led the charge in the offseason for Kevin Durant? That little man did. Sure. Steph Curry, the unanimous MVP, went out of his way to go completely public with, we need him. I'm going to lead our group. We're going to be the Hamptons 5 because we're going to go all the way to the Hamptons outside of New York on Long Island, and we're going to recruit him on the 1st of July. It was actually the 4th of July, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And he publicly swallowed all of his unanimous MVP pride, right?
He did.
And he said, we need him because we're not good enough without him.
Right.
Okay, you just disqualified yourself from top 10 discussions, right? Because you just said, I can't do it by myself. I need him. And Steph has never missed a beat over the last,
this will be
3 years. Never missed a beat. Every time he's had an opportunity publicly, he says, Kevin is our best player, right?
Right.
What does that tell the public? What does that tell the media? What does that tell ex-players?
He probably doesn't believe it. I mean, he says whatever he wants. I mean, he says publicly to keep the peace, and I understand that. But Skip, if you talk about top 10 players, Kareem played with Magic. If you look, look at the top 10 players.
But I'm saying just publicly, the ex-players, the hardcores, the all-time greats are going to sit back, and they may not say so publicly, but they would say to themselves, I would have never done that.
Right.
Would MJ have ever done that?
Well, the thing is,
I can't win without him?
Well,
no.
The old players look at it like this. Yeah, we might have played together, but the teams put us together. They don't look at it like, well, you're still playing. How it came to be is unimportant. These young guys saying, we're not waiting till we get past our prime. If we want to go play with player X, we're going to do it, whether you like it or whether Michael would have done it, Larry or Magic. That's not how they view things. Now, they're not waiting for teams to put teams together.
Okay.
Player says, I want to go play with James Harden, or I want to go play with LeBron James, or I want to go play with Steph Curry, and they're doing it. It's the same thing. It's just how it's come to be is different.
Okay, but all I know about Steph right here, right now is he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that.
Yes.
But can you do it when it matters most? Because I'm here to look, I love Steph Curry, but I got to be objective about it. Every stat across the board, from regular season to post, is down in the post. Every stat across the board: field goal percentage, 3-point, PER, turnovers, win shares. You can do them all. They're all a little off. They're not a lot off, but they're all a little bit down. What does that tell you? That whatever, maybe he's not made of quite the right stuff, which brings us back to right now. He has the greatest opportunity at age 31 of his career.
Right.
So he's in the middle of his career, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've seen what he just did for one quarter, one game against Houston, and then 4 against Portland. And
5 games in the quarter.
Okay, 5 games in a quarter. It's the best I've ever seen him play.
Yes.
What's the competition? Portland, not great. But Houston, yes. But it came out, it was like a bolt out of the sky where all of a sudden he had no time to think about it and get ready for it. It just happened. Kevin pulled up lame.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he took over with 12 points in the fourth quarter of game 5. And in the closeout game, remember, he came up empty in the first half.
Yeah, go ahead, 0 points.
And most people thought, I tweeted that at halftime. He scored 0. That doesn't bode well for Houston in the second half, right?
Right.
He scored 23 in the fourth quarter. It's hard to do in any game, regular season or post.
Right.
He did that.
Right.
Okay, so is that enough to vault him toward the top 10? I don't know. Now this could be enough. I think Toronto's really good. I think Toronto is underrated good
They
as
are.
a team.
I agree.
And obviously, number 2 is playing at the highest level he's ever played at.
And the thing is, Skip, is that when I said they were a great team, the Golden State Warriors were a great team before Kevin Durant joined them. Kevin Durant made them virtually unbeatable in a 7-game series. Now with KD out, now they come back a little bit to the pack.
Okay, so it's on him. This is his moment.
Yeah.
Can you take it over? And again, the more I hear about Kevin Durant, I don't get it. Now, there was a report last night on ESPN that it was unclear whether he was even going to be aboard the charter that leaves this afternoon from Oakland to go to Toronto for Game 1 on Thursday night.
Right.
Why not? Well, are you not even with him at all?
Well, I think the thing is he's hurt more than we
Okay,
think.
you well could be right. So clearly he's out for 1 and 2, and then what? We don't know, but it's starting to feel like he's just out.
He's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, let's surmise he's out for however far it goes. He's out for the rest of the year. He's obviously out on his team, too, because he won't even go sit with them during the game, which I don't understand, but that's just me. Just maybe I'm too old school like that.
Yeah, you old school.
Okay, so what does it say for Steph Curry that all of a sudden, now you're really on stage?
Yeah. Right.
This is it.
Right.
And back in 2015, what happened when Iggy wins Finals MVP? Okay, it was Steph's first big stage where it was his team, right? Okay, and what happened? What did your man do? I told you, it's the greatest stretch of LeBron James' career. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, he was playing unbelievable.
Hey, it was unbelievable. He put that team literally on his broad shoulders, and he carried that team that had already lost Kevin Love and lost Kyrie in overtime of Game 1.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They lost. Let's see. They lost that game. I know they won one.
They won Game 2.
They won Game 2.
Correct. Then Game 3.
Thanks to LeBron. Delly had some contributions late in Game 2.
Delly got fouled on the putback and made both free throws.
Okay, he did, and it was big. So then they win Game 3, and they're up 2-1 in the King's house. Game 4 is in the King's house, and if you win that game, are they going to win that series?
I feel
Don't
comfortable.
you feel pretty good about it?
I do. I would feel a lot better.
And what did Steve Kerr do as a young head coach?
He inserted Iggy late in Game 3.
Okay.
And he saw something.
That
made him say, you know what, we're going to go Iggy in the starting lineup.
He put him in the starting lineup for Game 4. And LeBron had by far his worst game of the finals.
Yes.
He was 7 of 22. Some people were telling me, well, he ran out of gas because he's carrying such a heavy load. Okay. Maybe that was part of it. But Iggy was a big part of it. And in that game, Iggy scores 22, and he made 4 of 9 threes. Pretty good. Yeah. Had 8 rebounds in that game. And I'm not saying he took LeBron out of the game, but I think he was a big reason why LeBron had a bad game.
He had a bad game.
Right.
But you look at that series, LeBron averaged 35, 13, and 9. And the finals MVP is the guy that's being credited for slowing him down.
Okay. So then Iggy continues. He has 14 and 8 rebounds in Game 5. And then in Game 6, the closeout game, 25, 5, and 5. Pretty good. He'd have 2 steals each game. He had 2 steals in that game. And he winds up making 9 of 22 threes for those 3 games, which is 41%. Meanwhile, quietly in the shadows, Steph Curry over those last 3 games is making 14 of 31 threes. That's 45%, which is what he made during the regular season, right?
Yeah.
So our man Chris Broussard, we're going to have him on a little later, he has said from the start, Steph should have been MVP.
Because Steph averaged more points in that series than he did in the regular season.
Okay.
And with the exception of the one that they lost, Skip, his finals numbers are better than his regular season numbers because he averaged both years that they won with KD was the finals MVP. He's over 27 points a game.
Okay.
So it's not like I said, they make it seem like the guy just stepped off a cliff, and he's not doing that. It's just so that they lost the year, that he's a unanimous MVP, and it was also the season, Skip, he went 50, 40, 90. He shot 50% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line.
Okay.
And all those numbers were down across the board in the finals. Now people they were like, man, I'm out on Steph, man. I mean, he great regular season. No. He had one bad playoff stretch, and it just so happens in the finals. But other than that, Skip, he's been phenomenal. But with 4 titles, with 2 league MVPs, one of them unanimous, and a finals MVP, you're starting to talk about only LeBron and Jordan and Duncan and Bird and Magic.
Okay, but
that resume.
You're leaping to a conclusion we have not been able to leap to, that he's going to win finals MVP, even though he's favored to do so.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. He's favored because KD is not there. Because if you remember the past 2 years when KD was there, who was favored to win the finals MVP? Kevin Durant.
Okay.
So, this is pressure. He understands what this is about. He understands that he needs to be great like he was the last game and a quarter of Houston, the way he was in the 4 games against Portland. He understands that. He knows what this game represents for him, and I believe he'll be up to the task.
Okay, so the reason yesterday I struggled with our prediction about this series was in large part this man, Steph Curry. Because I can't completely trust him on the biggest stage. And I'm just telling, the history says no.
Because I'm looking at the history, he's averaged 20, the last 2 playoffs, he's 27.5, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. What does the history say? And you mentioned...
they're just down from the regular season.
No. The only year that it was down was 2016, the year they lost to LeBron. These numbers are all up.
No, but I can do
season.
all his playoffs versus all of his regular season. The playoff numbers are all slightly down across the board. Total career, post versus regular.
Is it really enough to make that big of a difference?
No, but it's enough it's cause for a little pause where you just stop and you say, well, okay, because we just saw the greatest stretch. It was sensational. It's like in impact, I don't know if I ever saw Jordan have any more impact than Steph had over those, 5 games and a quarter, right?
Yes.
Okay, but now we're to what really counts.
Well, we're going to talk about LeBron James against Detroit, the bad boy Pistons, too. We're not going to talk about that Eastern Conference Finals. But I get your point. Go ahead.
But they had no chance. That team had no chance to beat my team in the finals because it was a mismatch.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but we're talking about this was Steph versus a Houston team that a lot of people, including me, gave a real good chance to get to the finals and win the finals.
Well, we felt even stronger once KD went down because, we thought they should have won that game there. That's James. That's your time, James. I mean, you're the reigning MVP.
Okay.
Take this game over. And they said, okay, even though they lost that one, they're going back home. They're going to get this thing back to Golden State, Skip, for Game 7. And Steph Curry says, we're going back home to get ready for Portland.
23 points said that.
We're going back, but you're not coming with us.
Again, I'm trying to be totally objective. What have I not loved about Steph even more so this year? More and more. This is just me. I'm just being honest. Hot dog, showboat,
Coney Island.
Just come on, man. We got
relish,
everything. He's beating his
sauerkraut,
chest. He's talking
chili,
to the crowd.
cheese.
You know,
Yeah, I love
he's
it.
chewing on his mouth guard. He's doing this,
Stop
he's
it.
doing that. Like, okay, I got it. But after a while, I need you to do this in the font. Do this first, then you can showboat all you want.
Well, Michael Jordan was showboating with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, tongue dragging on the floor.
He just won 6 MVPs
I don't
and
care.
6 chances. So
Well,
sorry.
Steph Curry about to have 4.
Okay, now I'm turning you into a Steph fan when I was the Steph fan.
Whoa, talk about.
Now, I'm more objective.
Hold up, talk about. Wait a second.
Okay,
It's
he
not-
better do it. He better do it now.
First of all,
This
yeah.
is it.
You make it seem like I've been anti-Steph. I've just been against Steph's team because Steph's been going against LeBron.
Get your team.
Yo,
that is
right,
correct.
exactly.
So now your guys watch on the couch. No, I'm sorry. He's winning 3-point contests with 14.
No, actually, he's in his backyard in Malibu.
Is he?
Yeah, with them old
Having a little
heavers.
cookout?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
Had the party, had a partners over there.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Really chilling, boy. That's
But
about
here's
all he
the
can
thing.
do.
All that being said, Skip, the Warriors can't win this series unless Steph Curry is great. Steph Curry has to be the finals MVP.
Okay. So I ended up picking Warriors in 7 just because I even less trust the guy on the other
No,
team.
you can't listen.
I less trust
Hold
him.
on. After what you've seen over the last 2.5 weeks, how could you not trust him?
So many shaky fourth quarters, including the one the other.
If you put all your
Yeah.
if you put all your eggs in that basket
Yeah.
and you went to the market,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about tripping.
Really?
Oh, you in good hands.
Really?
Oh, you in good hands with old Claw.
Really?
Old Claw?
Really? The
He'll be
guy
fine.
who's shooting 26% from the three-point line since Game 5 of the Philly series.
Whoa,
I guess so.
Yeah, you know.
I'll trust him. Yeah.
And he's still shooting what? 39% from the 3. Could I interest you in that? Would that be if someone were to shoot for the entire season, if they were to shoot 39% from the 3-point line?
Pressure is mounting. Now we're getting to the real stuff.
Oh, and he's
Now it's time.
averaging 29 points.
Now we're getting into Michael Jordan territory when he went 6 for 6 in the finals. But, you know,
The
this is
real
where
stuff.
I mean, come on, he playing Stockton.
this is where you earn your, so to speak, spurs.
He play.
right? You earn your
John
spurs.
Stockton's trying to guard him. He got the ball palming over John Stockton. You remember Skip in the finals? He had the ball like this here over John. That's in the NBA finals. He's got the ball in one hand and he's palming it all around his man's head. An NBA player, a fella NBA player, and you proud of that?
Boy, I hope the sun's out here in L.A. or we're going to get struck by lightning right
You
now.
proud of that?
Stop jinxing us.
Yeah.
You proud of
On
that?
any of
Come on,
that.
you can't do it.
You can't do what?
It's such blasphemy what you're saying.
What'd I say?
He made the shot of shots. He held the pose.
No. Oh,
I was
Kawhi.
sitting
Kawhi
courtside.
made a shot and sat down with it.
Did he? He
You
sat
saw
down.
Kawhi shot down. He sat down there.
He was so shocked
No,
that
he
it
wasn't
went
shocked.
in
He wasn't
on
shocked.
the 5th bounce.
No,
Way to
he
go.
did not.
Speaking of LA guys, should the Lakers send Lonzo Ball to Washington
That's
this
a good
summer?
question.
We'll discuss
I
next.
hope so.
No mercy.
The Lakers clearly need help this summer, and Bradley Beal could be a possible trade target. NBC Sports Washington reported that the Wizards would want Lonzo Ball in a potential deal, and a source said of Lonzo, quote, "People just don't grasp how good he is." So, Shannon, would it be a mistake for the Lakers to trade away Lonzo for Beal?
No, because LeBron, you need to maximize LeBron. LeBron James, Skip, is not a transition to the younger players. LeBron James is your answer now, and you need to surround him with the pieces that he needs. If ultimately what you're trying to do is win a championship, give LeBron James what he needs and what he's proven in the past what he needs to win a championship, and that's shooters. LeBron James needs to know that when he drives the ball and the double team or the help comes, that he kicks it, that the guy can consistently knock down open shots. That's what he needs.
Okay.
When they put this team together, everybody was scratching their head. What are they doing? Oh, he got playmakers. Well, only Rondo was a playmaker for other people. Everybody else was a playmaker for themselves. That does you no good.
Although it has been widely reported that LeBron signed off on that approach.
I don't know about all that, but that's
Well,
neither here.
that's
That's neither here nor there, Skip. That's not what we're talking about. LeBron James needs shooters now. Bradley Beal is a proven commodity. Career high in points this year, made the All-Star team, a knockdown shooter, a spot-up shooter. He can do it all when it comes to shooting. He's better, and who knows? You can't, man, we got to pass this opportunity because, man, Lonzo might be the real deal. But until then, what? You're not going to win without shooters around LeBron James. And your biggest asset is LeBron. Maximize that. Give him the pieces that he needs. So I believe this would be a good deal for both teams. The Wizards seem to think very, very highly of Lonzo. I know the Lakers think very highly of Bradley Beal because he is a shooter. And shooters do very, very well with LeBron James, unless you're Rodney Hood. And then all of a sudden, you can't shoot.
How do you explain that when he could shoot this year?
Pressure. Pressure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Skip. Expectations.
Yep.
Number 2, are you listening to what he
Well,
just said?
He got nothing to do with number 2.
Yes.
Number 2 is fine.
Expectations. He doesn't love expectations.
He loves them.
Does he?
Rise to the occasion.
Okay.
22-year-old Finals MVP. There hadn't been very many of those. Only Magic Johnson can say he was younger.
Duncan, Ginobili, Parker.
He wasn't 22.
So, what word have I often used in relation to and in description of Lonzo Ball? Transcendent. You've changed the definition to transcendental, I believe, but whatever. I use transcendent. Same word Rob Pelinka used when he introduced Lonzo, and he compared him to Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, and his point was he can just take over a franchise.
You believe Rob Pelinka? You believe Rob Pelinka?
This point.
Considering?
I believe my eyes, from what I told you when I watched this young man play at UCLA, when he made 41% of his three-point shots went down for the UCLA Bruins in the 1 year that he played for them.
They've updated LASIK surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you might need to go back and visit them.
Maybe, but this young man has things you cannot teach and that you can't learn. This young man is a once a whatever generation, whatever.
No, he's not.
Passer.
Okay.
Passer, yes, he is.
Okay.
LeBron is that guy also, but so is this guy in different ways than LeBron. He can see it and feel it and make it happen before it even happens. His up-court passing is second to none that I have seen. And he has the potential at 6'7" I think he's about 6'7", to average 10 rebounds a game, and it's more on instinct than desire. Russell does it. Russell Westbrook just does it on grit and determination and like playing football. I'm going to beat you to every loose ball. And to your point, sometimes he gets to stand inside on the free throws so he can get the easy ones. But this young man does it just on gift. He just has a nose for the basketball. And we saw him lead the Lakers in his rookie year for almost the whole year. He led that team in rebounding over Brook Lopez until the very end when Julius Randle came alive and maybe he was sort of playing his way out of town, that he just barely eclipsed Lonzo. And then finally, we have seen flashes of Lonzo playing the kind of 6'7" lockdown perimeter defense that Klay Thompson plays. So that package altogether could be transcendent. Now, I'll be the first to admit to you, if he stays hurt, then this whole discussion is disqualified, right? And is he fragile? Has he been nicked and knacked? And I don't know, he's had one thing after another go wrong.
Well, the Lakers did get rid of their training, their head trainer.
So I don't know that. And I'm going to say this one more time. No young player in the history of this league has ever had a higher degree of difficulty than this kid, thanks to this kid's father. Simple as that.
Right.
Just the target that the father kept painting on his back got bigger and bigger and bigger.
But his dad, it shouldn't be a problem because he sat right here and said, I've been dealing with my dad my whole life.
Okay.
So that shouldn't have been an issue.
What's he supposed to say?
Well, hey, he didn't have to say anything. Just go out there and show us. That's what he could have done.
Okay, but it's hard to rise above those kind of expectations. These are expectations that are through the Staples roof. That they are the worst expectations you could ever heap on a young point guard. The guy who's going to be your Bill Gates or Steve Jobs and take over your franchise. And by the way, another guy named Magic Johnson, we're going to talk about him in a few minutes here on the show. He went so far as to say that jersey is going to hang in the rafters.
Now, what kind of expectations is that? When you go there and you see, 15, 16 banners, and you see 10, 15 jerseys, like, man, mine's going to hang there?
And those words came out of the mouth of the man most people consider the greatest point guard ever, right?
Yeah, yes, he is.
So my hope for Lonzo Ball is that he can get out from under Los Angeles, all things Los Angeles. He grew up in the neighborhood, obviously. He went to UCLA. Now he needs to go somewhere else and start over. And to me, it would be a steal for Washington to get him in a package that featured Beal.
Right.
Like, what's Bradley Beal? I forgot to look it up. Is he around $30 million a year?
Yeah, 2 years left at $55 million.
Okay. Oof, boy,
You're going to have to get a third team involved.
All right.
A lot of money.
Okay, so that's a lot of money for a shooter who has not been transcendent for Washington.
We don't need to be transcendent.
Okay, I got you. I know exactly what you're saying. But Bradley Beal, for the Wizards, has not been able to lift them up through the playoffs, right?
Well, really, Skip, it was supposed to be John Wall's team. But John Wall has been hurt, and then he has a contract, but good luck with that contract at $47 million over the next 4 years. But Bradley Beal for LeBron, Skip, that would be a perfect fit.
Okay, it would be. And to your point, you need to max what LeBron has left.
Yes.
Does he have 2 years left at a high ceiling, like a...
17, I believe I'll give him, you know what, knowing LeBron and the way he works out, I mean, he cut down on the cigars, although he had one yesterday on Memorial Day.
How do you know he cut down?
Don't worry about all this.
I don't believe he did.
He did.
How do you know?
I mean, he don't drink as much wine.
How do you know?
Occasionally, he'll have.
How do you know?
If you let me finish it, I'll tell you.
There's some mythology being made.
Occasionally, he'll have a glass of Camus, or he'll have a silver oak, a little opus. But but for the most part, not a whole bottle like he used to.
Like he used to? Yeah. Well, now you're really calling him out.
like he used to.
That's borderline. That's like borderline drinking problem.
That is borderline drinking problem.
Not when you're that big.
No. I mean, every once in a while, I sit in the fireplace, listen to a little Maxwell. I have me a little.
And you have a little something, something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me and the boys.
But you go for the harder.
No, not when I'm listening to Maxwell.
Oh.
I mean, sometimes, when you listen to that head thumper, you get that heavy stuff.
Do you?
2 big cubes, that little brown.
Head thumper.
Set the mood.
Okay. Yeah, I'm setting the mood. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Huh. Okay, so he's getting serious about basketball again?
See, there you go.
Well, that's what I think you're telling me.
There's no one that's ever questioned except you that LeBron, because you started this narrative, and I'm tired of you driving the bus with narratives. Yeah. You love to get on the bus, gas it up, and start a narrative. Yeah. He came here, he wants to pass Michael Jordan, but it's Michael B. Jordan that he wants.
He's really chasing.
Yeah,
right?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
What? That's a great line. Did you think of that? No. Oh, no, wait, I thought of that.
You thought of it.
Oh, okay.
You love driving a bus that has a narrative that's not true.
Because it's all too true. It's hitting your deepest, hottest button.
I would give up Lonzo and maybe maybe even the 4th pick for Bradley Beal. But I'm not giving up all the young assets for Bradley Beal.
Well, who would?
He's not Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis, that's a whole different ballgame. Now, that's transcendent.
Well, yeah, that's...
Okay.
Now, I give that up for him.
Hey, Bradley Beal can really shoot.
Oh, absolutely.
Is he Klay Thompson? No. Is he Steph? Obviously not. No. But could he help?
You go to the farthest.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you, but he makes like almost whatever it is, $55 million for 2 years. Well, a lot of money.
Well, I'll tell you what. How about Golden State don't max out old Klay?
Okay.
We might get Klay.
That's fine, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Bradley Beal almost straight up, depending on how you make the deal work.
For Lonzo, yes,
Lonzo Ball. I say, way to go, Washington.
Skip, Bradley Beal's 25.
Okay.
Right. 25 years of age.
Hey, well, Lonzo Ball's still what? Did he turn
21?
Yeah. I think he just turned 21, didn't he?
So,
okay.
I mean, and LeBron, I give LeBron 3 more years right here in this area right here. He'll be somewhere between 1 and 5 as the best players in the world. You can win with that. You can win some championships with that, Skip Bayless.
Okay. All right.
I'm going on record and say they're going to win it, too.
Okay. You what?
They're going to win a championship
within
the next 3 years. Yes, absolutely.
Win the next 3 years?
Yeah.
What about next year?
Next 3?
Hold on.
Come on.
Who we going to get? Are we going to get AD?
Well, you say the next 3. He's going to get old. We're seeing it already.
Are we?
Yes.
27, 8, and 8?
No, 28 and 27. That's the record with LeBron last year.
No.
Stats all down.
Hurt.
Huh?
Before he got hurt, that wasn't his record.
Well, when he played, he was 28 and 27.
Well, use that same analogy. Because when KD doesn't play Steph Curry, his lights out.
Okay, so once again, I'm going to be objective as
no,
opposed
you're not.
to the person across the table about my guy, Lonzo Ball. Do I worry he doesn't have enough fire in the belly, enough dog in him, enough just flat-out killer in him? I do. Do I worry that he was just a little too privileged growing up in Chino Hills, that he was borderline spoiled? Yeah, I do. I don't see that enough. I saw more at UCLA than I see now.
Right. Interesting.
Do I worry?
Well, he's the best players. See, when you're the best players, see, Skip. It's easy to be the boy dog when you're the biggest dog.
Okay.
But guess what? He goes to the Lakers. He's not the best player. He's not even close.
Boy, I don't know about that.
Oh, he's the best players on the Lakers?
I think he's got the most potential of any of those kids. He
Hold
just does.
Well,
I'm going to stand by that. That's why what was the quote you just read? People just don't grasp how good he is.
You know potential
Period,
is?
end of
You
story.
know what potential means?
How good he is.
Potential is short for you hadn't done nothing yet.
Is means now. Is now.
Potential.
You are.
Potential.
You are. Not
we don't
potential.
say, you know what you notice? When we talk about Steph and Harden and LeBron and KD, we don't say potential because they've done it. We talk about Lonzo Ball, we talk about potential because he hasn't done it.
Okay.
So give me someone that's done it. That's what we're going for right now. I'm trying to get a championship. So in 3 years from now, maybe I'll hop on Lonzo a bandwagon with both feet like you did.
Okay, all right.
But right now,
you probably will.
I need Bradley Beal.
Then you'll claim
We
Lonzo,
want
and you'll claim
We
that all
want
along
Beal.
that you said Lonzo was transcendent.
No, I
That's
never
what
said
I'll
that.
hear.
No.
You'll Baker Mayfield,
No.
Lonzo Ball. That's what you did. Am I right? Baker Mayfield.
Because you abandoned him.
Huh?
You
I
abandoned
did not
him. Yes, you
abandon
did.
him.
Oh, I want Kyler. Kyler Murray's this guy.
He didn't say that.
Okay, what did Kyler Murray?
What
He
about him?
likes Kyler.
Oh,
We
no.
like them both.
We had a thing. Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield.
Two
You took
things
Kyler.
can be true, say you. Kyler can be great and Baker can be great.
But you
it's
took
possible
Kyler.
Kyler could be a little greater.
But you took Kyler. You abandoned him.
I took Baker Mayfield #1 overall, and
did.
you laughed at me.
Always did.
You laughed at me.
But you left him.
And now you claim
And
it.
he needed someone.
Way
He's
to
like,
go.
hey, man, he was out there. I saw him all alone.
Okay, and finally, I got to be objective about one last point about
What?
Lonzo. If you don't fix the free throws, then you're out. You're just out. You can't be a point guard in this league making 42% of your free throws.
What type of transcendent player that we had ever thought about we needed to fix his shot?
A lot of them.
Who, name one?
Jordan, Magic. How about
Not
those
fix.
two?
No. They didn't fix the shot. The shot was already.
Well, they had to develop a
Skip,
shot.
Nobody was doing like this here.
Okay.
Nobody thought
You know
Jamal
what?
Wills with the shot coming around his head like
I
that was
thought
transcendent.
he fixed the shot last year. He made a bunch of big threes for this team. I'm talking about big-time
And
shots.
he missed a bunch of wide open shots too, Skip, for this team.
But not that many.
Skip, the
he
man
improved.
Skip, the man shooting 40% from the free throw line.
Okay, but he went from 31 to 33% from three. I can live with that. I mean, 33% is almost LeBron's 34%. LeBron's never been a great shooter.
Whoa.
Huh?
Let's see what that 30.
Can we fix LeBron's free throws if we want to be honest about this? No, seriously.
What you want to fix?
Huh?
You
What do I want to
you wanna
fix
those four-
67%.
You want to fix those 4 MVPs?
I
Because
wanna fix the shot.
they might be a little crooked. Those 3 Finals MVPs?
Yeah.
Good, don't do that, Skip.
LeBron has changed his free throw routine about 9,569
Ain't gonna change
times.
it again
Yeah.
to shoot 75 to 80%
Is he?
this year.
Do on it right here.
Hold on. You gonna bet me a what?
on
You
it.
gonna bet me 2 cases do he
On
won't
what?
shoot between 75 and 80% next year.
Okay, don't do. I got 80.
No.
Your mark is 80.
Skip, the man was down to 67%.
Okay, so. You
75.
bet on him last
75.
year. 78 right now.
75.
Going once, twice.
75.
Oh,
Skip,
come on.
He's only shot 75 one time in his career.
Okay, well,
So
he's
I'm
capable. right?
saying he's going to do it in year 17 again.
Really?
75 for 2 cases right now.
76.
75.
I'll take 76.
No,
That's
no,
fair.
no,
I
no.
dropped mine all the
Just
way for 4
because.
points.
He's 76.
You know, 76, I think that's fair.
I
Done.
Like,
It's
I like
done.
a quarter. I like halfway.
It's done.
Okay, we're gonna
76%.
talk
I like
about,
this. I'm writing it down. 76%. Yeah.
Guys, LeBron has been doing some shooting lately. We're going to get
Yeah,
to
we
that.
are gonna get to
You'll
that.
you'll have plenty to say,
Yeah,
I'm
are
sure.
we?
But first, we are going to talk about Zeke.
No mercy.
Next up, Yahoo reports the NFL will likely review Ezekiel Elliott's incident from last weekend when he knocked down a security guard at a music festival in Las Vegas. Elliott was put in handcuffs by police and was taken off the property. Elliott served a 6-game suspension back in 2017 for violating the league's personal conduct policy. So, Shannon, what will the outcome be this time around for Zeke?
Skip, the more I look at it, I didn't really pay attention to that, but it looked like he bumped the security guy over the rail, and the guy fell on the railing.
He just fell against the
And it
railing,
wasn't
right?
anchored,
Yeah.
so it
Right,
just
so
moved
it just
back.
gave-
Right.
Yeah.
And the more I look at it, Skip, and given that it's reported that the league told him you're on a 0 tolerance, nothing.
That's the word.
Not littering, not laudering, anything is
Yeah.
0 tolerance, Zeke. And Zeke is running into the problem, Skip, is that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of his incidents are happening on camera.
Yeah.
See, if the incident with him on the balcony with the female, they could have brushed it off, said there were a lot of guys up there, and it wasn't Zeke. But guess what? There's camera footage. It was Zeke. In this incident, Skip, he could have said, nah, that was someone else. The Zeke was there, but it was someone else that bumped into him. But the camera was there. It was Zeke.
You're right.
And so this is not a good look. Skip, remember, Tyrone Crawford got charged
He did.
about a bar incident.
Yep.
So now you know Dallas, they got to keep their streak going, Skip. They got a streak, Jenny. I don't know if you noticed it. to start the season over the last 5 to 6 years, what did they happen, Skip?
Yep.
At least one player has started the season
we don't want
suspended.
that.
It's a tradition. It's a great tradition. We uphold our traditions.
In the words of
Dallas.
Jim Nance,
Yep.
it's like the Masters, a tradition like no other.
That is correct.
Unfortunately, not in a good way.
Not in a good
Skip,
way.
I believe they're going to come back. They're going to look at this, and they're going to like, Zeke, this is not a good look. And the people are like, oh, well, 24-year-olds like to have a good time, and they go to music festivals. But a 24-year-old that has a normal job and a 24-year-old that's in the NFL are held to different standards.
They are
Yeah.
different.
And the 24-year-old that's in the NFL was told he's not to have any more incidences.
Yep.
Skip, it looks like he's a little intoxicated. He looks like he's put himself in harm's way again.
He's a little something.
And I believe the Commissioner Goodell is going to look at this and say, you know what,
Yep.
Zeke, I'm going to have to go in and sit you down again because, you know what, I don't really like doing this. And people are like, well, the NFL just punishing Zeke. You know, Skip, Zeke could stay out of trouble. You know, Zeke can make this a moot point. All he has to do, I believe he gets a game.
I told you what I thought. The first moment we spoke about this, the first words out of my mouth, he'll get suspended for 2, and on appeal, it'll get reduced to 1. And I'm already trying to figure out if they can beat Eli and Saquon in week 1 at Jerry World without Ezekiel Elliott. And I think they can. But now back to the basics of this. Charles Robinson of Yahoo reports that Commissioner is obviously going to take a look at this. Well, how could he not?
Not right.
And Charles Robinson reports that the people at the top of the Dallas organization, Reed, Jerry, and Stephen Jones, are still very angry over the way the commissioner dealt with Zeke going back 2 seasons ago, the 2017 season.
Correct.
Because the commissioner leaped to a conclusion that they could not leap to. Because I'm going to say it one last time, maybe not the last time, but Kia Roberts, director of investigations for the league, was the only person in the NFL office to interview the accuser, not once or twice, but reportedly 5 times.
That is correct.
And she concluded not credible enough for suspension.
Right.
And she went so far as to sort of betray, if you will, her bosses.
She did.
She defied them. She said, I want to testify at his hearing on behalf of him.
Yeah.
Commissioner said, nope, I rule. I am dictatorial here. It's all me. I am judge, jury, executioner, and I execute a 6-game sentence, right?
Yeah, and credibility is everything,
Okay.
Skip. Normally when you have a he said, she said,
Yep.
credibility is the most important thing. And Kia Roberts said she had none.
Okay, so is it possible, I'm just reaching here, I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm reaching, is it possible that Roger Goodell would sit back right now and say, I was pretty hard on him last time. I'm going to look the other way just this time. I'm going to call this young man and read the riot act to him and tell him one more time and you're gone for a long time again? Or will he just take one look at this video as you've taken several looks? It really just takes one, to me, to just say, that's wrong. That's out of bounds.
What does Zeke, Skip, my thing is that when you do it, what did he hope would come out of this by doing what he did?
Well, he's not thinking about that.
Trying to have a good
Well, you
time.
know what? This is what we do.
Right.
See, and that's why Commissioner
Okay.
goes sit him down for a game
Just
to give him an
remember,
opportunity.
just remember, he comes off as appearing to be physically aggressive toward the young woman he's
Right,
with.
right.
Appears to be. He's jumping in out of some disagree. I'm not saying he's angry, but they're having a disagreement of some sort. So he keeps jumping in front of her as she tries to walk away. It's just the optics are wrong, right?
Yeah,
You're-
he didn't like her outfit. So.
Okay, whatever. You know, but it's going toward physicality. It's
Right.
going in that
She's
direction.
trying to leave and he's
Yeah,
prohibiting it.
okay. And then he clearly gets physical with the security guard.
Yes.
No matter how you slice it,
Yeah.
he got physical. He
Right.
bumped him down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 0 for 2. So I just know what's going to happen. The commissioner's going to say, I tried to warn you one time, and I gave you basically 0 tolerance.
Right.
And you defied me
Right.
again. You made me look bad because you make our league look worse.
Yeah.
Right?
And Skip, zero tolerance means, well, okay, zero tolerance for the act that brought you here.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance is zero tolerance for anything. If the judge, you go before a judge and he says zero tolerance, don't you get your butt out there and get a speeding ticket? Don't you get your butt out there and you have to come back before that judge again? And that's what Zeke did. That's what Zeke has done. He's put himself in a position to go back before the judge that told him zero tolerance.
Yep.
What part about zero didn't you understand?
Yeah, I got you. So I'm now going to hand you some ammo across the table because Todd Archer, who covers the Cowboys for ESPN, wrote this morning, this is a huge year for Jason Garrett because obviously Steve and Jerry Jones expect the next step to be taken in the playoffs.
I do too.
Okay.
Could mean
That's the playoffs. That's the next step.
Could mean in their eyes NFC Championship game. 2 longest droughts in the NFC of not getting to the championship game belong to Detroit and Washington. Number 3 on that list is Dallas.
Yeah. What?
That's no good.
Hold up. How you gonna do that with a Brady-ass quarterback?
Well, there you go.
He been there for this is his 4th year, Skip.
Yeah, but he keeps taking steps, little steps.
Okay,
right?
he took a big step his rookie year, then he moonwalked back. He took another step last year, he gonna moonwalk back.
Okay.
Yep, watch it.
And to your point, this team has not made back-to-back playoffs since 06-07. 06
What?
and 07. That's a pretty long time ago. I'll give you that.
long.
And by the way, there has not been a repeat winner of the NFC East since 03 and 04. So
The
we got to go
Eagles?
all the way back to 04. Wow.
When the Eagles ran the division, huh?
I'd say.
It's been that way.
Interesting. That's a long time.
Yeah, long.
I say they're going to shatter all those historical molds. I say this is the year. I've told you, I've
believe
told Jenny, I've said
heard
this
it.
is it. But I don't, that we're off on the wrong foot because you need your running back
Why you
to
need
be
it? Well, you
right.
no.
Yeah.
You got to transcend the quarterback. You don't need a running back.
Oh.
Well, name the Hall of Fame running back that Tom Brady's played with. Name the Hall of Fame running back that Drew Brees has played with.
Well, I didn't say that Dak Prescott was Tom Brady. Who is Tom Brady?
No, you don't.
Name somebody who is Tom
Well,
Brady.
well,
Help me out.
All I'm saying is,
Help me out. There's nobody.
You don't have to jump on me.
I'm
just a harbinger.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Harbinger
Yeah.
of what?
Yeah,
Of greatness?
Yeah, I just bring the news. I'm just a messenger.
You could
That's
be a
all I am.
harbinger of greatness,
You know what I'm
too.
saying? You know, it's like I'm the mailman. All I do is bring the mail. You jump on me because the IRS, you got to pay your taxes. You jump on me.
Yeah.
I don't work for the IRS. I'm just the mail guy. Skip, I'm just a harbinger. I'm just bringing you the news. What's going to happen to you guys?
So, this could work to my benefit because the team could be outraged that young Zeke gets suspended again. The commissioner's unfair again.
What is the outrage about
It
Zeke?
could pull the team back together. And as long as he's just gone for game 1, if we just have one game, they can win that game 1 at Dallas without Zeke. And then that schedule doesn't get that much harder for a little while.
You know
if
what?
You've noticed.
Okay.
Jerry Jones will never be able to do this.
Yeah.
Power down.
Okay.
Stephen Jones will never be able to do this. Power down. Not long as 21's on their roster. They'll never be able to sleep with their phone on off or silent. That's never going to happen.
So you're telling me that if Zeke plays 15 games, which you say he's going to be able to play, given health, I'm knocking on wood,
Okay.
but if he plays 15 games, this team is going to miss the playoffs? Wow.
I'm thinking
Interesting.
a team, the last team that went back-to-back division will reassert themselves and take their proper place.
So Travis Frederick is back, a Pro Bowl center, right?
Yeah, he back.
Ty Smith said he's healthier than he's ever been at this
So what's he
stage of the year.
supposed to say?
Okay. Well, we'll
I
see.
need a walker?
Interesting. And Amari Cooper's had the whole offseason to connect even deeper.
Didn't he say he want money? Didn't he say he want that Odell Beckham?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
How many cases do we have on Dallas missing the playoffs?
We got 2 cases.
2. Want to make it 5?
No, I don't want to make it anymore.
Why not?
Because I don't want you to get...
Put your due where your
I
mouth
already
is.
put 2.
Yeah.
I already put 2.
Well, make it 3.
And walk it to him.
Yeah.
He back healthy.
Is he?
They say he was out there dealing the other day.
Really?
I don't know how true it was. I wasn't there. But people say he was dealing.
Really?
You got sources? or-
Whoa, they
you
say he
know?
was... Skip, they tell me he was spinning it.
Really? I'll bet Zeke plays more games next year than Walk It To Him plays.
I don't know.
Yeah. Want to bet on that?
I don't know about that, Skip.
I don't know.
Because you know the history ain't gonna be because he don't play because they're not injured.
Yeah.
He play because of other things.
Okay.
But all I know is I tell you what, I know who the best running back is in that division.
Who?
You know who he is.
Zeke?
2'6" from the Giants.
Oh, the young guy.
Yeah.
The guy who
I
can't
do
run
like
between the
him.
tackles.
I can't tell he can't run between the tackles. You see all the runs he had?
Wow, I didn't
Oh,
see it.
Saquon.
He has one big one a game, so we'll give you
That's
one
all
big
he
one.
need.
You can have your 60, and then the rest
Catch
of them,
it.
then
He
he'll
catch
have
it better. He catch it
15
better.
other carries for 30 yards.
How
I'll
many
take
times
that.
you see him get caught? I see Zeke get caught all the time.
Do you?
How many times you see old Saquon get walked down?
Who keeps leading the league in rushing? I don't know.
With all those carries,
Oh, interesting.
he beat Saquon by 43 yards and had almost 50 more carries.
Okay, we got to talk about LeBron, guys, because he is getting in shooting contests with teenagers. We'll explain
Teenagers.
that.
14-year-old.
No mercy.
Hey guys, it's Jenny Taft checking in from Undisputed. So I'm going to be honest with you. Something that has always scared me a bit is being alone at night in the dark. I've seen far too many scary movies to see how those movies can end up. So, alarm, the willies, the heebie-jeebies, panic. There are dozens of words for fear, but just one for an exceptional home security company to stop fear at your front door. Simply Safe. Simply Safe is home security that knows it feels good to fear less. This is award-winning 24/7 protection that protects your home through it all, through blizzards, blackouts, and burglars. Simply Safe has won awards from all the tech experts that count. The Verge calls it, quote, the best home security. It's won Reader's Choice from PC Magazine. It's a 2-time winner of CNET Editor's Choice and a Wirecutter top pick. Simply Safe has no contract, no hidden fees, and no gotchas. And they always keep prices fair and honest. Thanks to Simply Safe, fear has no place in a place like home. Try Simply Safe with free shipping and free returns. You'll get a 60-day risk-free trial, too. Order now and have your home protected within a week. Go to simplysafe.com/undisputed to get started today. That's simplysafe.com/undisputed. Be sure to go there so they know we sent you. simplysafe.com/undisputed.
No mercy.
LeBron is not in the playoffs for the first time in a long time, but guys, don't worry, he is staying busy by shooting against a kid. LeBron posted a video yesterday having a three-point shooting contest with a 14-year-old teammate of his son, Bronny, Gabe Cupps. Both LeBron and Gabe made their first 3 shots, then Gabe missed, and LeBron made his final shot for the win. Afterwards, LeBron wrote on Instagram, I got called out by my guy, and in my opinion, the best shooter for the class of 2023. Gabe Cupps today told him about a certain switch I can hit when needed, and he didn't believe me. Well, he found out the hard way. Still my guy Cupps, nevertheless. Shannon, what was your reaction to this?
I love it. Hey, he told him about the switch. But sometimes, Skip, you got to show people. Some people see better than they hear. See, when he told him, he didn't believe it. So now I got to show you.
Really?
Skip, I don't know if you noticed this, but I read where Bruce Lee would be great martial art. You know Bruce Lee was unbelievable, Skip. But they say there were fellow actors and extras that would have nothing to do with a scene, would actually challenge Bruce Lee. He would stop shooting. Wop, 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 wop.
No way.
Dust him up. Action. Go back to doing what he do. Then this young man called out Bron. Bron was there to watch his son. Hey, they didn't want to do it. You think Bron wanted to do this to him? But you know what? Let me go ahead. Wop, wop, wop. Now,
Really?
Now, this young man ain't gonna challenge Bron no more. Sometimes, Skip, that's what
Oh,
you
really?
gotta do.
He taught him a lesson? Yeah.
That's what you got, Skip. You got to stay in your place. You know,
Really?
hey, my uncle used to tell me, you know, as they started getting older, they would challenge my grandfather. Guess what? Barney Porter put that thing on him right quick. That went away.
Really?
Never challenged him again. So that's what you do. Somebody challenge you, put that fire to him. You don't have to worry about it. Go about your business for the rest of the day.
So to continue your Bruce Lee analogy, what would have happened if a 14-year-old had walked on the set and said, I want you, Bruce? What do you think Bruce Lee
Bruce
would
would
have
put
done?
that pain to him.
He would not
Yeah,
have.
Bruce
He'd
put
have
that
said,
pain to him.
Next.
No.
He'd have said, could somebody get him out of here, please?
No,
Could somebody take him back to his mom,
no,
please?
No.
Take him to his mom.
Seriously?
Yep.
When I saw this, first I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a parody. And then I realized when LeBron is walking off the floor, looking back at him like, I got you, that he
love it.
took this dead seriously.
Right.
He was actually bragging by posting that he outshot a 14-year-old in what was, I think, a 4-shot three-point shooting contest.
We won. We was gonna go into. Bron was prepared to make 20 in a row if that's what it needed.
And when I tweeted about this last night, I couldn't see for sure, but I do think it was the NBA three-point line. First, I thought it was the shorter one, but there's so many lines on the floor that the more I look at it now, I think maybe it's the distant one.
Yeah.
But the kid is 14 years old. It has come to this for poor LeBron James. He's out of the playoffs, and he's trying to brag about putting a 14-year-old in his place. The shame of this. It's so beneath the dignity of a guy that you used to call the best player on the planet.
No, used to.
Are you kidding
Hold on,
me?
Skip. So I must make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Now, we see golf. Young kids be on the pro tour. So do they feel sorry for him? It's like, oh, my goodness. No. They're in age.
You don't see 14-year-olds.
Yeah, they do.
Do
If they make the cut.
On
if
the
they,
tour?
Yeah, if they make the cut, they be out there. Michelle Wee used to play. Annika Sorenstam used to play with the men. Skip, if you step up,
okay,
put it down.
You're stooping to have to show us that you can outshoot a 14-year-old. This is a guy that you say is on Mount Rushmore.
What would you have said?
It's just so beneath him. It's just so wrong. It has come to this for LeBron James.
Okay, I'll give you.
You're better than that.
You see what he said? You heard what he said now? Now, Michael Jordan once came to CP3's basketball tournament.
Okay.
And everybody was going to get free shoes if Michael Jordan missed what was it, 15-foot, 18-foot shot, Skip? Why would Michael Jordan even do that? Why would he just not go ahead and give the kids free shoes? No, he stepped to the plate, knocked it down, so he wouldn't have to get by free shoes. So with LeBron James, he's like, I just want to let you know, I'm still GOAT James over here. Don't you? And you know what? You'll never be able to tell your kids or your grandkids you outshot LeBron James. That will not be on your resume.
The kid is trash-talking LeBron on his Instagram. He's saying, dang it, man, I really should have beat this dude. I should have beat this dude. It's come to this for LeBron. Really?
You know, you should have.
Yeah. So is this going to be an ongoing challenge? They're going to go back and forth?
We done.
I could beat a 14-year-old.
We done with it,
Wow,
Skip.
really?
We
Okay.
done with it.
Wow, boy, that's highly impressive. By the way, LeBron last year shot 34% from three, which is his career average.
Which is a career average that's better than Michael Jordan. But that ain't none of my business. You know what? I
Do
don't
you like
even
him
know why
as
I
a
brought that up.
three-point shooter?
I like him better than Michael Jordan as a
don't.
three-point shooter. Do you?
By the way, do you like him as a 67% free throw shooter? Because I don't.
I like him that he got more points than Michael Jordan.
I like it that you gave me 76%.
I gave you 75, Skip.
76%.
75.
So here's what would impress me.
What would impress
LeBron
you?
is obviously not doing anything right now. Like, he's free.
He is doing something.
Oh,
he's
got
attending the
Space
Bronny. Yeah,
Jam
no,
8
he got
or whatever
Bronny.
he's doing.
Bronny.
Oh, he's got Bronny?
Yep.
So you know what would have impressed me if yesterday, unannounced, LeBron James shows up at the Golden State practice as they get ready for game one, and he walks in the door late in practice, and he points to Steph and he points to Klay, and he says, the three of us, let's shoot it out after practice.
How about I tell you
Just to say, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put you two back in your place. You know how that would have turned out for him?
LeBron would've
Not
won.
well. Not well. Trust me.
But let me tell you what LeBron did do yesterday morning.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed this, but at about 5:15, guess where he was at, Skip? At the Lakers facility.
Was he?
On the Versa climber, getting his work in, getting up shots. That's where he was there. How do you like that, Skip? Who else you think? What other player that's not in the playoffs you think were up at 5:30 in the morning doing what he did?
All I know, at 2:30 this morning, I was on the treadmill. I get on the treadmill every morning. And what does it matter? Nothing. It doesn't matter any. So I'm not impressed. If LeBron, let's just say this, if last year, All-Star Saturday night, if he'd walked out and said, I'm in the three-point contest, you got me.
No, we don't
You
do
got
that.
me. You don't do that?
No, we don't do
Really?
no
Oh,
walkout.
yeah, that's right. He'd never even done the dunk contest
First of all,
before.
Skip, the three-point competition is set a couple of weeks in advance, so they don't do walk-ups.
Well, if he walked on and said, I want to shoot, trust me, they would say, make room for daddy, right? Here we go.
Well, that's what happened. Old boy would try. Well, you see him, he's standing on the side, him and Savannah was standing on the sideline. He had his foot against the wall, just chilling.
Really?
And old dude looked at him like, what's up? He's like, what's up? Okay, let me bust your head right quick. I know you're 14.
Bust your head.
I think it makes him
of a
approachable.
14-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
should hang
it's
out
so
with
impressive.
Bronny and his
I was
teammates.
extremely impressed. He's got that, what did he call it? A certain switch.
Switch, flip
I
it.
can hit.
But how
Let me-
cool
Really?
that he's hanging around.
You're going to flip the switch on a 14-year-old?
I tell you what he will do. I tell you
Lord
what he
have
will
mercy.
do. Tell Michael Jordan to show up somewhere. He'll have a shooting contest with him right now. And I'll put money on Bron.
You know what? I would put all my money on Michael Jordan. And if you want to
Well, you don't even bring a wallet with you to work. All you have is your driver's license, so you ain't got no money on you. I don't know nobody want that
my
50 cents.
wallet to work every
No, you don't. You got driver's license. That's it.
No.
But I put money on that. Put that on pay-per-view. That'll be pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Three-point
That would be
competition.
pretty good.
LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I would love that.
The
because
first to 20.
It's clutch versus unclutch.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't bet anything about that.
I would bet. I just told you I'd bet whatever. You name it.
And you got to wear street clothes. Michael Jordan ain't
Really?
making no three with them big old jeans on,
Oh,
with them
really?
granddaddy jeans.
Okay. All right.
Them big old back. You see them big old back pockets on the jeans, Skip? You thought he gonna beat LeBron?
Michael Jordan could wear golf clothes and beat LeBron.
No, he beat at golf. Yeah, absolutely, he could beat him at golf.
He could wear golf clothes and beat him shooting.
No, Skip, stop.
Oh, stop it.
You know
LeBron
what?
is the shakiest clutch shooter I've ever seen.
I can't
ever
tell.
seen.
Not in the
Yep.
playoffs.
Oh, please stop it.
He got more game winners than Mike.
And then, again, it's none of my business how he raises his kids. God bless him. But again, he's calling his kid the heir apparent on his new Instagram.
What is he supposed
That's
to say?
hard, man.
What's he
That's
supposed to
just
say?
I don't know, I
hard.
did notice
Heir
that.
apparent?
What's he supposed to say?
Well, it's a
I don't
lot.
know,
It's a
but
lot of
heir
pressure.
apparent?
Yeah, heir
He's
apparent.
14.
So
I hope he's going to be the heir apparent. I hope he's that good.
I want him to understand that I have expectations for you, son.
Well, expectations.
Don't let me down.
Yeah, this is worse than LeVar and Lonzo, right?
Oh, stop
let's
it.
hope-
Well, I don't know, man.
But first of all, Skip Bayless, the likelihood of a kid outdoing a
Thank you.
transcendent dad.
Thank you. Yes.
But that doesn't mean he can't want him to be there, apparent.
Well, obviously you want to, but now you posted it publicly. You've proclaimed him heir apparent.
We knew that. We know the expectations, Bron. He gave the man his last name. That should tell you everything you need to know what the expectations
He
are.
did. No, he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, but you've seen him though, getting involved in games, getting in there, coaching, getting
By the way,
agitated. He
when
might
LeBron
be
was a
intense dad.
senior in high school, he proclaimed himself the heir apparent to the greatest player
Did he
ever
lie?
played.
You saw Sports. Who that posted that is LeBron James overrated? He put it back up. I think was
Did
it
he?
Sporting News or somebody said, "Is LeBron at high school? Is he overrated?" He posted.
He chose to wear 23, and then he fell woefully short of 23 in every way, shape,
Made it
and
better.
form. Oh, did he?
Made it better. It's like somebody coming along making the light bulb brighter than Graham.
Really? Boy, I hope Bronny can make 23 better.
No. Yeah, you notice the dude on his team got 23. Bron
I
said,
did
"No."
notice that.
Bron said,
Yeah.
"I'm deuce."
Yeah, a number.
Bron-
I can live up to.
I hate it.
Gabe.
Gabe doesn't seem too worried.
Dang it, man. I
Gabe's
really
ready to
should have
live
beat
up to
this
it.
dude. He's calling this dude.
Yeah, and what?
Who is this
Good
dude?
for him.
That
That's
let you
going to be
know.
the best day he's
Bron
had. in a while.
walk up to him and say,
Come on, LeBron.
"Come on, catch yourself."
LeBron is better than this.
I love hanging L on young people.
No,
They keep them in their place.
14
We're going to talk
13
about Steph
next.
Curry's legacy. Is it on the line in the finals? We'll discuss that with Chris Broussard next.
No mercy.
All right, Steph Curry is a big favorite to win Finals MVP. Steph is averaging about 27 points per game in the playoffs, but he's been on fire in the last 5 games without Kevin Durant, averaging nearly 36 a game. Steph has won 3 titles and 2 regular season MVPs, but he has never been named Finals MVP. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, how important is a Finals MVP to Steph's legacy?
I think it's big. Number one, because if he's a Finals MVP, that means they won. So that's big. Number one, that'd be his 4th title in 5 years. He would. We all know this is his team, even when Durant was there the last 2 years. Because I don't think Durant's playing in the series at all. So I'm assuming.
Wait, time out. We all know it's his team. How? Like in the fans' eyes, or
He is the most impactful player on that team. I've said
really?
since
I don't know that, man.
I've said since Durant has been there, Durant is the best player, but Steph is the most important player. What they do that makes them so great revolves around Steph. I was talking to a coach, a playoff coach that faced him in the playoffs this year. He was telling me, and this is when Durant was in the midst of that great run. And he said,
Clippers run.
yeah, yeah, exactly. He said, Steph is the guy that when he steps off the court, you're like,
Really?
and Durant was on fire at that time. He was just saying, that's the guy
Remember the last 3 games against the Clippers, it went like 50, 40, 50.
He was
like
great,
that.
but it was ISO a lot of it. And that's
Okay.
easier to guard than the movement Steph, like, what Steph does is so unique. Like, why did Damian Lillard get taken out of the series by double teams? Because he passed out of double teams and stood there. Like most players today, James Harden, LeBron, I could name all these guys. Steph passed out of the double team
Go
and
reset.
starts running.
Yep.
So that he is the guy that the other teams, nobody ignores Kevin Durant. I haven't really talked to anybody, for the most part, that says Steph is better than Durant. But more important to that team, the engine that makes them go, is Steph. And he proved it by winning it before KD even got there. So this would be their 4th ring. I think, I'm saying it's his team. And he would join the Kobe, Shaq Lakers, and Michael Jordan is the only guys outside of Bill Russell to three-peat. So that would be huge for him. Now, as far as the MVP, I've said, Skip, on this show, I thought he should have definitely been the MVP in 2015.
I concur.
It's beyond me how he could not only not win it, but I don't believe he even got a vote. LeBron got more votes. I think it was Iguodala than LeBron as far as Steph's numbers in that series: 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds a game, 40% shooting from 3. In the pivotal game 5, when the series was tied 2-2, he drops 37, hits 7 of 13 from 3. In game 6, he goes 25, 8, and 6. And Iguodala, who was really good, got the MVP for holding LeBron. LeBron averaged 36, 13, and 9.
That what he had?
Some people thought he should have been MVP. No, game.
Oh, you're doing just those games?
Game 5. No, the series. Game 5 with Iguodala on him, LeBron goes 40, 14, and 11. Game 6, he goes 32, 18, and 9.
Okay, but they got wiped out in both those games.
Not wiped. Steph had 37, though. In game, how you wiping somebody out without the 37 points? So I just, nothing against Iguodala, but I thought Steph got robbed in that. But then, so for people, I think finals MVPs are overrated. Kareem, of his 6 titles, he had 2 finals MVPs. His last 2, at least, he was past his prime, if not the last 3. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker won 1. Larry Bird's first championship. Cornbread Maxwell. So I think they're over.
Number 2 even won 1. I don't know how.
Don't do that.
To your point.
Yeah, it's not to your point. You know what?
He was good that year. But he
enhancing-
was a role player that year. Real talk. He averaged 12 points. Now, he was big in the finals, but that's serious. But my point for posterity's sake, for legacy, when you do look at the greats, you nitpick. And if he doesn't have any finals MVPs in 4 championships, then I think that's something people can hold against him. So I do think it will help him in that regard. But I look, in his 4 finals, he's averaged 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists.
I believe it'll be a cherry on the top because you're talking about a guy that will have multiple regular season MVPs, multiple finals or victories, and a finals MVP. It's hard. It's going to be hard if he wins this one, wins the MVP, that you keep him out of the top 10. And everybody
All time.
People keep talking about Steph Curry's playing so bad in the finals, but let me tell you who Steph Curry has a higher scoring average in the finals than: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, and D. Wade.
Wow, that's impressive.
Steph Curry has a higher final scoring average. Now, a lot of people think Kareem could be considered the GOAT.
Right.
People think Kobe Bryant's a top 10, Larry Bird's a top 10. And Steph Curry averages more points in the finals than those 5 guys. Can I interest you in that, Skip Bayless?
Well, I got a whole lot to
Well, yeah, okay. But with that being
That's strong.
With that being said, Skip,
They shoot it every day. Like, they're just shooting like crazy. They're getting up threes.
But Showtime was scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, but
and Kobe obviously shooting.
yeah. But the thing is that, look, if you look at his last 2 in 2017, he averaged 27, 8, and 9. KD averaged 35, 8, and 5, clearly. Last year, 27, 6, 7. KD was 29, 11, 7.5. You can get that. But even Kobe, the last 2 that Kobe and Shaq won together, Shaq was 36 and 12. Kobe was 27, 6, and 5. So you see, Skip, sometimes you can play well, but then the player on your team has such a historic run. What Kevin Durant was, and then everybody remembers, Skip, that Game 3 shot. Then he follows that up, KD, in the sweep with a triple-double. How do you overlook that even though Steph was still doing his work? So for me, yes, this is icing on the cake. This is the cherry on top of the sundae. It's still a great dessert, but now he went, Skip, they win this, and I believe he's going to have to be the finals MVP if KD doesn't come back and play. It's going to be hard. I don't know how you keep Steph Curry out of the top 10.
And you even said the other day, before Skip started, would you put him ahead of Magic as the greatest point guard ever if they win this?
Might have to.
Might have to.
I think he's chasing. I wouldn't quite go that far yet.
So somebody across the table from me, I'm going to alert our brighter fans out there in the audience that somebody is trying to undercut the fact that Kevin Durant has become the best player on the planet. Somebody's trying to make a case for his teammate being better, being a top 10 player.
Who said that?
There's also a number 2 out there making the
he's
making
a
the claim
big case.
too.
Boy, he's had a lot of shaky fourth quarter, that guy. But here's the point. You both are omitting the key detail here in the timeline. Off his second straight MVP season, which was the first ever unanimous MVP season. It was extraordinary. He shot 45% from three. He led the NBA in scoring and steals and PER. It's just impossibly great what he did that year. And he goes into those playoffs, right? And what happened in game
5, 6, 7.
5, 6, and 7 of that?
He didn't play well. He came up
He
small.
came up smaller than he is at 6'2 or 6'3, whichever he is. And again, just for posterity's sake, in those games, he averaged 37% from the field and 36% from the free throw line after he shot 45 during the regular season. And then we go
from
to
three.
Yeah,
from
from
three. You
three,
said
yes.
from free
No,
throw line.
from
I was about to
three.
say
No,
free throw
from
line.
three. No, from
Okay.
three. And game 7, he shot 6 for 19 in his house. If it's his team, it's his house. 4 of 14 from three, and then we get to that fateful fourth quarter where it's a nip-tuck game throughout the fourth quarter, and he goes 1 of 6 from the field and 1 of 5 from three, and even Shannon admits he just threw the literal trophy out of bounds behind his back into the ninth row, right?
Fair.
Okay, so it was after that game that Steph led the charge, the Hampton Five, to Long Island in early July to recruit Kevin Durant, right?
You don't think Draymond led it?
Okay, well, that's what you've talked about. But again, Steph was the front man. When they got there, he was the one most outspoken. We need Kevin Durant. Well, if you're going to publicly admit that in a way no other superstar would ever admit that, no Jordan, no Bird, no Magic, would ever say
KD
publicly.
would.
Huh?
KD
okay,
would.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, but I'm talking about the greats, right? Okay, KD was stuck with a guy that he thought would forever handicap his ability to win one championship. He just said, I can't win with him as my primary decision maker, Russell Westbrook. So he says, I'm going in my 10th year. I'm going to maximize my chances of winning rings. And it looks like he's on his way to maybe 3 straight rings, right?
Right.
Okay, so now, what did we see from Steph? He is publicly on the record as saying, we weren't good enough without him. Well, you're disqualifying your top 10 just by that admission alone. You just are.
I'll give you some of that. I wouldn't say disqualify, but I'll give you that. But that's why this is so important. If KD doesn't come back,
It's beautiful.
and if KD leaves,
Silver platter
right?
opportunity. This is it, right?
So
here, right
this
now.
goes.
Okay.
You go full circle.
Well,
Okay.
Right.
I would skip. I believe going to the Hamptons served 2 purposes. Not only do you get him because maybe they were thinking, man, this is going to be tough. He stays in OKC. They had us down 3-1, so we get him out of OKC. Well, we just lost to the Bron.
Yeah.
He can't beat Bron. I don't know, with Kyrie staying there, we're going to be able to beat Bron. If we can take him away from OKC, get him to us,
Okay.
now we overwhelmed.
Okay, and I'm going to say this one more time. If you look at Steph's regular season stats for career against his career playoff, all of his playoff numbers are a little off. Not a lot off,
Yeah, just
but
a
they're a
little.
little down. Every category is down, down, down. You can't find one that's up. So back to 2015, your contention, he should have won that MVP. I disagree with you. That series felt lost to me because of your man and your man too. LeBron had taken it over. It was the greatest stretch of his basketball career. He put that team on his broad shoulders and said, I'm going to carry you guys home with no Kevin Love, and Kyrie fractures his knee in the overtime of game 1. And they lost that game barely in overtime. Then they win game 2. Then they go to LeBron's house and win game 3. They're playing at LeBron. Game 4, they're in big trouble. They're down 2-1. I thought LeBron was going to pull this one off. And the move of the year that year was made by young coach Steve Kerr, who said, I'm putting Iguodala, you made the case, he saw late in game 3.
He stumbled into it.
He saw, oh, wait a second, maybe Iggy does bother LeBron a little bit. So he bothered him a lot in game 4. And that was the pivotal game to me because they got back in charge of the series because he held LeBron to 7 of 22 that day. And it was way below what, remember,
He was shooting a low percentage that whole series.
Okay, but he was
Because he was
mid-30s.
shooting a lot more than he
shooting a
usually-
lot of shots.
Yeah, he was volume shooting.
Yeah,
He
they
turned
do
into a
everything.
volume
Like
shooter.
22 was low for
Yeah, because he was like
Right.
38,
It was.
one shot. Yeah,
Okay.
he like 38, almost 40 shots.
He did do a good job on LeBron for the next 3. A decent. He kept him in check. But he kept him in check. He changed the
36,
flow.
16,
okay, but
and
okay,
10.
that's for the whole series.
But for those last 2 games. James. I'm
All
just saying.
But my point is, so he goes in, and in that game, he made 4 of 9 threes. Iggy did, right? And he scored 22 big points. Then he scores 14,
Yeah,
and
he
then
did
the
score.
closeout, 25 points. So he hits 9 of 22 threes over his 3-game starting stretch. Meanwhile, Steph is making 14 of 31 over the last 3 games. So that's back to his regular season of 45%. But the turning point is Iggy going to the starting lineup. So the value player, the guy who, the most impactful player to me was Iguodala. And we've seen him do it regularly, shut people down.
And he did it again in these playoffs.
Yeah.
But I tell you what's going to happen. Kevin Durant does not go back to Golden State. Steph Curry will be opened up as the favorite to win the MVP next year.
Yeah, I think you're
All
right.
right.
If they win it this year.
Even if they don't win it.
If they don't win it, I think Kawhi would.
When
Well,
If Toronto wins these finals,
Right.
I think Kawhi will be the favorite next year for the MVP.
playing for
Whoever
That's the
though.
question.
I think whoever. Whether it's the Clippers or the Raptors, I think he'll be the MVP.
Links up with someone.
well, I was just going to say, if
What
he's
if
a
he links
Laker,
up
I think he's the.
or Kyrie or
I don't necessarily expect him to link. Not that it's impossible.
Right.
He might, but I don't expect Kawhi. I expect KD and Kyrie to link with somebody, maybe each other, but I don't necessarily expect that from Kawhi. You think he's?
if number 2 is number 2 to LeBron next year, there's no MVP
Oh.
in that.
I don't know.
No, you're right about that. But I
For
mean,
either player, I would
yeah. If the Lakers,
But
if Kawhi leads Toronto to the championship without a second star this year, why would he go to the Lakers?
He's from here.
I
mean,
think
he
it
wants
would-
to play here.
I mean, God bless him if he
Well,
does.
we're talking
but-
about with Steph. But you're getting in the rarefied air. When you talk about multiple regular season MVPs, multiple finals championships, and a finals MVP, you got to talk about Duncan and Jordan and Bird and LeBron, Skip, Kareem, Magic. That's the era he'll be in.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, I love him. In fact, you and I used to go back and forth, if you remember, at ESPN before this draft, and I kept saying, I'm taking Steph number 1, and you love Blake Griffin.
Yeah, I didn't. I did not foresee this with Steph Curry.
Well,
I did
now
not.
we're even talking about top. You're bringing up top 10 all
Because
time.
the normal rule of thinking in anything, fighting, playing, you always take the good big man over the good little man.
Well,
And for the most part, you would have been right.
well, to that point,
Well,
Blake
the
Griffin
way
had
the
been at
game's
Oklahoma
changed.
for 2 years, not
Right.
1 year, but 2
Yeah,
years,
right.
and he couldn't make a shot beyond 1 foot from the basket.
Right.
He's learned to shoot.
Right.
He's
He
been.
got 3-point range
I know. Now he's.
So there is hope for Giannis.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
well, I
yeah.
know you guys were talking about where Kawhi may end up,
Yep.
but a new report
Yep.
just came out
Here we go.
about how bad it really is with the Lakers. I don't
Yep.
think this info is going to help. We will give you all the details next.
No mercy.
Apparently, the Lakers are an even bigger mess than we thought. ESPN spoke to a number of people in the organization, and they said Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka berated employees. One team official said about Magic, quote, he comes off to the fan base with the big love and the big smile, but he's a fearmonger. And Magic and Pelinka also ignored the other basketball people in the front office when making moves. And LeBron's agency, Clutch Sports, led by Rich Paul, became a powerful influence on the team. One agent said, quote, coaches know Rich is trying to get them fired, and players know Rich is trying to get them traded. It's a lot of stuff
A lot of
there.
stuff.
And it was a lot to read through. Chris Broussard is still with us, but Skip, I am going to start with you on this. What was your takeaway? Because there was a lot here.
Long story with 3 big flashpoints. Again, number 1, according to about 24 former and current staffers, Magic was a tyrant of a boss, and Magic did a very poor job in assembling last year's Lakers. Point number 2, Rich Paul is basically trying to run the Lakers according to the story. And point number 3, Linda Rambus, quote unquote, controls and manipulates Jeannie Buss, who is supposed to be the ultimate final say of the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, back to Magic Johnson. If you remember the night he so abruptly quit before that game at Staples, he suddenly started defending himself about something that we couldn't quite understand, right? We had heard a long rumored story by ESPN was in the works, and by then he had been asked about this story, and that night he said this: never disrespected nobody, never did anything bad. Now, am I tough? Hell yeah, I am. You work for me, I'm demanding. That's who I am. But at the same time, I'm fair. I'm going to defend Magic on this count. I know Magic. Listen, if you watched his career, he was a cold-blooded killer on the court. I know he's got the greatest smile in the history of sports, and I know he can be great with the media, but just if you watched, you saw that guy that ran Showtime's Lakers with an iron fist. That's how he ran the Lakers in the front office.
That's probably how he run his other businesses.
Right.
I've worked for guys like this. I've worked for women like this. It's tough, but the strong survive.
A lot of times they're very good, too.
A lot of times they're very good, and a lot of people were left by the wayside.
Yes.
You know, a lot had to quit, a lot just couldn't take it. Maybe that made the organization better. Then we're back to what happened with the Lakers last year. There's one of the assistant coaches quoting is saying, we all had the same reaction that the basketball world did. What the F are we doing? Not only are we not getting shooting, which they obviously needed last year, but we're also getting every basket case left on the market.
I was laughing. Skip, I read that. I was
okay, is that not true?
That's what everybody thought.
Yes.
It was like, what in the world are they doing?
Well, again, it was Magic's idea, I guess. Was Pelinka involved a little bit?
I think LeBron had something to do with it.
Okay,
too.
well, we went back and
it was
forth.
at least run by him.
Okay.
And he was like,
He signed off on this because the whole thrust was we want playmakers, right?
Sure.
Well, they got some playmakers. They're kind of basket case playmakers, but it was a bad idea, okay? So was Magic a great GM? He was not. And we've detailed all the bad moves that he made. Now back to Rich Paul. Is there anything shocking here that he tried to take over and that he made the culture bad, according to the story, that the coaches felt like he was trying to get the whole staff fired? I'm good with that. I think that was going on. And the players thought that he was trying to get a bunch of the young players run out of there in favor of bringing Anthony Davis in. Well, any revelation there?
Yeah, okay.
You got me?
Right.
I mean, the only assets that we got to trade to get Anthony Davis is y'all guys.
Okay.
We can't trade LeBron
right.
because we want someone to come join LeBron.
Right.
So you're it.
Okay, so this is not new either, but the shadow owner of the Lakers is the wife of Kurt Rambis, Linda Rambis, who was like a big sister to Jeannie, and she was growing up through the organization. And now, if she is in fact sort of quasi in charge, that should be horrifying to any potential free agent who wants to come to LA. What is going on upstairs? Right. Where does the buck stop? Who has final say? Linda Rambis? Does that mean Kurt has it? Phil Jackson have it? I don't know, but it's not a good look.
Kurt sitting in on coaching meetings at times. I mean, I'm with you, Skip. I mean, this kind of confirmed a lot of what we surmised just from watching what was going on. Yeah, Magic, look, the one they mentioned him berating, and I know Magic well and been around him a lot, it's hard for me to see him mistreating people. Now, like you said, he was tough and demanding as a player. I'm sure he could be that way as a boss. The one example they gave was that he reprimanded a woman for she messed up a car service for a draft pick.
Yep. Okay.
And he said, if you make another mistake, you're gonna get fired. He said, I don't make mistakes. I don't. It's been a while since I've been yelled at by a boss, but I got yelled at. I remember vividly as an intern being yelled at. You know, and like you said, that's the workplace at times. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, and obviously as an athlete, I mean, you know, so sometimes that you have demanding bosses. Pelinka, you left him out. That was the interesting thing. I mean, the damning thing about what they said about Pelinka was that he's viewed as a serial liar. And that is true. I have talked to, you know, this narrative that nobody likes Pelinka in the league. I have talked to a few people in the league that do like him and deal with him.
Are they liars too?
But most people, I have to admit, have said, you know, they don't trust him. And even people that some people that like him do say it's almost pathological. Like lying about things you don't even need to, just like a small thing. Like, what's the advantage in lying about that? And he told a story, they said, where he said that Kobe had dinner with Heath Ledger, but the timeline for his dinner with Heath Ledger.
The reason he wanted to is because Heath had immersed himself in the role for The Dark Knight.
Right.
Well, he had died 6 months before The Dark Knight even came out. So you just
so he said he had lunch with or dinner with a dead person. You know, so that's caught. I mean, redhead, right? And
stories.
And then you
Kobe.
mentioned,
why does Kobe need to play up having dinner with anybody? He Kobe.
Like, why you right? Heath Ledger should be telling that story. God bless him, had he been alive. But Rich Paul, And that's the quote about Rich Paul was from an agent, right? That's a competing agent. Now, I get it. If I'm another agent, if you're Rich Paul's standpoint, that's what you want to do as an agent. You want to get as much influence as you can. Other players looking at Rich are like, he got the juice. Like, maybe I do, because this is a cutthroat game with agents. Now, I can see how other agents, though, would hate that. It's like reporters. If a reporter has some special access to Magic or Pelinka that I don't have, I'm going to be upset if I'm trying to compete with them. So I can see how other agents, this is where it could bite the Lakers. If other agents say, in the influence they have on their free agents, they try to direct them away from the Lakers because I'm afraid if they get in that organization, Rich could end up stealing them from me. Pelinka, the hurt could be, how can you trust him? If an agent's he already has a lot of enemies, as we said, especially among other agents. If other agents are gonna say, how can you trust this guy to not trade you, to, do anything he says he's gonna do? So that, ultimately, that's where this could potentially harm them in free agency, is if, that's where the dysfunction could hurt.
I think it gets down to this, Skip. Look, I think there's respect and fear with any job. I think there has to be a healthy level of respect, but you need to fear that your boss has control, and if you're not doing your job, you're going to lose that job. I never had a problem. I've been very fortunate that as I got older and I became a better player, I didn't have a problem being corrected. Correct me, just don't curse me. Yeah. If I mess up, just tell me what I did that was wrong, and then I'll fix it. I'll do my absolute best to fix it. Magic got upset with Rob. Skip, I believe Magic told Jeannie, I got other projects. I'm not going to be here on a daily basis. Jeannie said, okay, Magic. Then all of a sudden, Magic, it's like me, I take this job. Well, Skip, I'm in. But I'm only going to work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You're out.
That all of a sudden.
Sounds great.
That all of a sudden, Skip, like, whoa, where were you two? I say, Skip, I told the bosses. Magic was upset that he told it, not that he told the truth. With these young players, Skip, my grandfather used to come home and says, when I come back, somebody needs to clean this house. What did he mean? He didn't mean him. That somebody was us. If somebody's going to get traded, who them young guys think going to get traded? LeBron ain't. The only guy that's untradeable is LeBron. The only someone that the people want are the young talent. The Kuzmas, the Ingrams, the Lonzos, the Josh Hart. Don't get upset with that, guys. You're not to the level yet that you have a say in where if you want to be traded. Skip, this is bad. It's worse than we thought, actually. Now, we thought some of the things that the talent didn't make sense, or you bringing playmakers in instead of shooters. We all surmised that because it didn't make sense considering we had watched LeBron the previous 15 years and he excelled with shooters, not playmakers. He had basically, Kyrie really wasn't a playmaker, but for Kyrie, all the other guys were shooters. D-Wade was a playmaker. So but I'm looking at this, Rob Pelinka is low-hanging fruit also. Yeah, he's a liar. But it's easy to shift all the blame. No, Magic, you got to wear some of this. I agree with that. Hey, Magic, you trying to isolate. Oh, this all Rob. No, bro.
Well, and to your point, Magic, this was just going around on social media that we know on the other network that Magic had said, I told Jeannie that I wasn't, I got other business, I'm not going to be around. But the day he was hired, or right around when he was hired, Magic and Jeannie were on one of the Lakers talk shows. And Magic said, I'm walking away from my other businesses and giving 150% to the Lakers. So he kind of got caught.
Right.
So I don't know if he actually did tell Jeannie, I'm not going to be here.
What happened was he said, well, I wanted to do this. And then when I came back, this Magic, if you don't get to leave for months on end and then come back and say, well, I want to fire Luke. Now they're going to make you run it through some other people because Magic was being away, Skip, and coming back and wanting total control like he had never left. And Jeannie was like, no, that's not how it's going to be. You need to talk to, well, I thought I had control. You did if you were here on a daily basis. And that wasn't the case. But Magic bears some responsibility, some culpability in this. He's trying to push this off on Rob, where everything that's going wrong with Rob, with the Lakers, is Rob's fault. I got LeBron. No. LeBron was coming
He
here.
picked you.
Yeah, LeBron
Right.
was coming this way, and you just happened to pick him up. He was hitchhiking. LeBron was coming this way anyway.
Whew, so many layers to this. We could have gone through every certain part, but either way, they're going to have to start to turn the page and make some changes if they want to get anyone here.
We want
this
AD.
summer. Chris, thank you for joining us. Thank you for adding
Give
that
it up
in
on
every
free
single
agents.
time we finish up a Lakers conversation. Is Klay Thompson the best two-way player in the finals? We will discuss that next.
No mercy.
Klay Thompson did not make an All-NBA team this season, but in the playoffs, he's averaging about 19 points a game while usually guarding the other team's top offensive player. His ability to be a dual threat drew high praise from his coach, Steve Kerr. Kerr said this, I think Klay has proven that in a playoff game, maybe there will be pushback on this, but in a playoff game, he's the best two-way guard in the league. You can't tell me there's anybody better at that combination of locking up the opponent's best player and then going down on the other end and playing at a high level offensively. So, Skip.
So, Jenny.
What do you make of this?
Interesting. So, let's see. There's this guy who plays for Toronto, wears number 2. He's 6 feet 7 inches tall. So Klay Thompson is 6 feet 7 inches tall. So we have semantics about what positions they play, but Klay's a guard. Is he a guard? Yeah, he's a guard. He's a 2 guard.
Yeah.
Is the other guy a 2 guard? Yeah, he brings the ball up a lot for Toronto.
No, he's
is it
listed as a
possible?
3.
Well, is he? Is he or is he
Yes.
not? Because every big possession down the stretch, it seemed like number 2 dribbled the ball up the floor. Wouldn't that qualify him as more of a 2 guard? It seemed like he's playing on the perimeter a whole lot.
Don't do that,
Does he
Skip.
post up? I don't know.
Don't do that,
It
yes.
seemed like Steve Kerr was trying to say, wait a second, I got a guy who has to play in the shadows of KD and Draymond and Steph.
Right.
And my guy is a lockdown perimeter defender. Now, he doesn't weigh as much as number 2 does because even though they're 6'7", I think he outweighs him maybe 15-ish pounds. He's listed at more like 230-ish. Klay's 215-ish.
And one guy has a first baseman meant for hands.
Okay. Well, the other guy will lock you up and spit you out. That's
Ask
what
Giannis.
he does.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think Klay Thompson could have done with Giannis?
It was 3-on-1.
Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, in all 3 of the games, in all the games that the Bucks played the Warriors, was Klay there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there.
So I won't listen.
So help me out on this.
Okay, I'm
Who
gonna
is
help
the
you.
more explosive scorer between Klay Thompson and number 2? The most explosive.
Explosive.
Explosive. It's Klay Thompson. We've never seen. It's beyond Steph explosive. Can we just detail some of the things he's done?
Yes.
Do you realize he scored 37 points in a quarter? That was on January 23rd, 2015. At Sacramento, he scores 37 in the third quarter. Have we seen in the history of the NBA anybody who could do that?
No.
Nobody can do that. So he scored 22 in the first quarter 3 times in his career, 26 once in the second quarter, 37 in the third, and 19 in the fourth 3 different times. Those are extraordinary, explosive numbers.
Unbelievable.
And when he gets it going, as you know, the ball barely even touches the hands and he just flicks it and it goes in, right?
Yeah.
It's just flick,
Barely,
flick,
barely.
flick,
Ooh, all
flick,
that.
flick.
Great.
Meanwhile,
But he can't hold a counter to that guy.
since Game 5 of the Philly series, it's a lot of games starting to pile up here now. Number 2 is shooting 26.5% from the three-point line. Who knew? Who's counting?
But the thing
Nobody.
Hold on. You see, Steve Kerr, I hope you mean point guard and 2 guards.
Oh.
Because if you're talking about points, because most of the points are offensive. The Russells, the Hardens, the Dame Lillards. If you're talking about defenders, you're talking about Pat Beverly, guys of that nature. So if he means guards, guard, point guard or 2 guard, Steve Kerr, have at it. I will never correct you. But I guarantee you this. You ask 30 general managers who's the best two-way player out of Klay Thompson and Kawhi Leonard, and even the general manager for the Warriors, Leonard, Bob Myers. Bob Myers will tell you it's Kawhi, and it's not close.
Really?
Those 2 defensive
You sure
players,
about
the
that?
2 defensive players of the year,
sure about that?
tell you otherwise. The 2 first-team All-NBAs tell you otherwise.
Really?
The finals, because hold on.
Maybe it's mystique. Maybe
Don't do
it's
that.
carryover from being a Spur.
No,
Maybe Spurs get a little more acclaim.
He carried that over to as Ben Simmons as a
because it was
carryover.
dynastic.
As Ben Simmons.
Ask how he got to join a dynastic team.
What
right?
the hell you think he played with? Because
Well,
Kawhi Leonard,
he gets overshadowed.
Kawhi Leonard If I'm not mistaken, only Magic Johnson was younger, won Finals MVP at a younger age, won it at 20 and again.
Do you remember what happened in that finals?
Can I
Do you
finish?
remember?
Let me finish.
Your team, your guy got blown off. Wait a second. Point of order. Your guy got blown off the court by a record finals margin. It could have gone to Marco Bellinelli. It could have been Patty Mills.
I don't know what could have.
Okay.
I like to tell people what did have.
Okay.
What did happen. My guy as the fourth option
Your
won
guy?
Finals MVP.
Now he's your guy.
Kawhi.
Yeah.
Your guy is the fourth option.
He's not my guy. I'm just telling you.
Get to talk about how he didn't make all NBA.
He is extremely underrated.
Skip,
underrated because he gets lost in the shuffle.
Skip, I'm not arguing that. No one in the history of the game, nobody's had
Who's the spearhead of their defense? He is.
No third option could do what this young man can do. He got 60 points in 29 minutes. You mentioned the 37 and a quarter.
37?
No third option in the history of the game could give you that. But it's hard pressed for me to believe that there's ever been it's hard to believe, Skip, a better two-way player than 0-2.
Really?
0-2?
Well, guess what? 0-2's going to get to go right up against number 11 because I think they're going to go head-to-head a whole lot.
Well,
Maybe we'll start finding out.
1 + 1 = 2.
Really?
And we'll see who had a better game. I tell you what, he better hope Steph going off because if 2 is on him, he won't be going off.
Really?
Lock him, Giannis. Giannis had filed a motion with his lawyer. Can't get out of lockup.
Hey.
Locked him down.
If Klay gets that feeling going, flick, 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 all of a sudden it's like 3. Where did that one come from?
Skip, hold on. So are we just gonna just forget the first 2.5 months of the season didn't happen? You remember when he couldn't throw it in the Pacific?
And then I remember when he could.
Oh!
I remember when the basket started looking like the Pacific.
With my guy didn't have no time off. He might take some time off, for load management. But everybody, they be looking at the schedule because they know he's not gonna play back to back.
You realize in the closeout game 6 the other night at home, he should have been 0 for 8 from 3, your guy? Number 2 should have been 0 for 8.
Actually, he should have been 2.
Oh.
Because you said that one went all the way down, spin round and round.
That means you missed. That wasn't bad luck. That was just a bad
Don't
shot.
do that.
It's offline. It's offline. He made one lucky shot where it hit the front of the rim, kissed off the backboard, and somehow dropped.
Kawhi is a lot.
I think they adjust those rims.
Shooter's touch.
Is it possible they have some remote control the rims where you can loosen it up?
Skip, you know that?
Yeah.
I had that touch like that. Yeah. Skip, touch like that.
I think you had plumber's touch.
If it wouldn't, don't do that, Skip. If it wouldn't swish the net, I tell the rim, if it don't swish the net, spit it out. All that, and go in, no, I didn't want that.
Is that right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want it. It's
Selective memory.
Wow.
Swish it.
Really?
Yep.
You know
Skip,
what?
but you need to stop. You and Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr said, I know there's going to be some pushback because he knew where this was headed.
Exactly. And you got pushback.
Yep.
You gonna get pushed over talking crazy, Steve
Really?
Kerr. And I feel like it's like Steve Kerr. I really like him. I like him as an analyst. I mean, I like Steve. Made big shots, saved Michael Jordan's career. But I mean, legacy, saved his legacy. Him and John Paxson. But that's none of my business. That's not what we're talking about right now, Jenny.
Unbelievable.
But that guy right there, Skip.
Yeah.
He can't mess with Claw.
Really?
He can't mess with Claw. The dude, 2 defensive players a year says otherwise.
Look, obviously, Steve Kerr is lobbying to keep Klay in-house.
Yeah,
next
okay
year.
then.
Level of that.
But don't do hyperbole.
Yeah.
Just say we love Klay. He's
You know
home.
what I love about this? We get to find out because they actually play against each other starting Thursday night.
Claw will back him
Thursday
down.
night.
Really?
Claw back him down.
He bet that's all he's got is back.
Black him down to shoot that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Really?
We'll see. Plenty to look forward
Ask
to.
Giannis about it. Ask Ben Simmons. Skip, you remember Ben Simmons had 11 turnovers? Couldn't get the ball past half
Ben
court.
Simmons has no shot. Giannis has no shot.
What about his dribbling?
No shot.
What about his dribbling?
Okay.
They've
He
got
can
a lot
do that.
to think about in the offseason.
Hey, Kawhi got to be going up. Hey, Kawhi.
We're going to switch gears, guys. We have actor Jaleel White. He
Here
has
we
a
go.
new show in which
Yeah.
he plays Muhammad Ali, and he is
It
here
is something.
to talk about it.
Yep.
So we'll get his opinion next.
No mercy.
We are joined by Jaleel White. Welcome. to
Welcome.
Undisputed. You are playing Muhammad Ali. So can you explain the concept of the show?
Yeah, the concept of the show is great figures from history are roasting each other.
Okay.
So you've got, I played Nelson Mandela first, actually. So you had Nelson Mandela, Rosa Parks, and Barack Obama were roasting MLK. And in this one, I was the one being roasted as Muhammad Ali. There was, I believe, Elvis and Bruce Lee and
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Oh, Babe Ruth was hilarious. Babe was hilarious.
good.
So you just have to buy into the idea that these historical figures can say and do whatever they want when you watch this show.
It is hilariously irreverent, but it is based on deep dive research, and it gets as real as you can get.
Yeah.
So I happen to be in your audience the night you taped
Hey!
Ali, and it was something to behold because I got blindsided by the fact that Joe Frazier, quote unquote, comes out of nowhere on stage and goes right at you. Point of order, I was the biggest Ali fan growing up. I had 2 posters on my high school wall, Ali and Joe Namath, and I loved both of them because they didn't care what anybody thought. They were going to be their own men.
Correct.
But when it came to fighting Frazier, and they fought 3 times, as most people know, every time it escalated the scathing attacks of Ali on Frazier. And it bothered me as a kid because I couldn't get it through my head. What are you trying to do? It went beyond what you excelled at, which was just your basic great trash talk. And just a couple of quick, these are real life quotes. Before the first Frazier fight, the one in Madison Square Garden, Ali called Frazier a dumb tool of the white establishment. He said, only people rooting for Joe Frazier are white people in suits, Alabama sheriffs, and members of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm fighting for the little man in the ghetto. And Frazier is sitting right across from me at the press conference and says, what the F does he know about the ghetto? And it escalates to, at training camp, Ali had his sparring partner wear a gorilla mask.
Right.
Okay? And then we get all the way to the Thrilla in Manila, the third fight and the deciding fight. And Ali tells the Philippine media that, what will people in Manila think? That black brothers are animals, stupid, ugly, and smelly? Meaning if you let Joe Frazier walk around town here? And to me, I couldn't get it through my head. Now that you've done some research on Ali, what do you think was his motivation with all of this?
I think trash talk in this fight game is far and above trash talk in any other sport. Once it becomes mano a mano, once it becomes rooster on rooster, and Ali was such a genius that, unfortunately for Joe, he really knew that he was undermining Joe's performance by taking it to that level. That's what I think. I think he thought he could get Joe to a spot where Joe would just become punch concerned versus strategy concerned.
Right.
And anytime you can get a man in a competition to get look, I love Terrell Owens, okay, but I play basketball, gets me the pass. Game point. Coming back up the court. Hey, sag off him, dog. He can't hit that. That's an invitation for Terrell Owens to take a 3-point shot. And pretty much he always does.
Okay.
And then you win the game.
And he missed.
Yeah, and he misses.
Wow.
Right. So
called out Terrell Owens.
Right. So hey, it happened on the court, all right, years ago. But I'm just saying,
Okay, I got
there are certain guys that you can poke their egos in a certain way. And back then, we didn't have social media. So he didn't have a whole nation of people to call him to task on some of the comparisons that he was drawing, which now, obviously, we look back in hindsight were completely inappropriate. But I kind of enjoy that stuff, though, because it was a different era.
Well, Skip, you remember he had the toy gorilla in his hand. He said, I can't wait till I get the gorilla in Manila, and he's punching him. And I believe Joe Frazier went to his grave, and I don't believe he ever forgave him. Now, maybe I'd have to go back.
He did not.
That's fight game.
But see, I believe that you can go over the line. Especially
in fight game?
Yeah. You don't talk about people's wives and you don't do their religion. Conor McGregor found that out the hard way about
that's what I was about to say. Like, he went way over the line. And everybody forgives him. He's got to do whiskey.
For me, the way I look at it is that this is one of the few times that I love Muhammad Ali, that the trash talking game was really about him. He started to go. The goat, nobody even know what a goat was. They was talking about the farm animal. He coined the term goat, the greatest of all time.
He did.
But I believe he stepped over the line. I believe when a black man says to another black man and calls him a gorilla and says the derogatory name that he called Joe Frazier, that's over the line. I don't care if you're trying to sell a fight. I don't care if you're trying to get into his psyche to make him to get out of strategy. I just want to hurt you. I get all that. But no, you can't do that. Muhammad Ali was too much of a lyricist. He understood what he could say and he could rhyme with it. he didn't have to go there.
He was a poet, man.
Yes,
I mean, it works.
Yes.
I love separating times. So by today's standards, I absolutely agree with you.
Right.
By the standards back then, in the Jefferson era of television, where I say no. Yeah. I'm like, it was appropriate for back then, even though it was over the line. If that makes any sense.
But see, the thing is, Muhammad Ali would have been very upset when someone called him the N-word.
Oh, of course.
Well, see, back then, back now, it's still the same thing. So you have to look. You have to look at it in the context. Like, hold on, how would I feel if somebody called me a derogatory name, and he fought for that?
Yeah, listen, I reserve it to the fight game. I'm actually not disagreeing with you. I'm just separating eras.
Right.
That's all I'm doing.
Okay, just remember the irony of this. Joe Frazier was by far his toughest opponent.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He beat him and he hurt him in the first fight in Madison Square Garden. He knocked him down and won on a unanimous decision.
Right.
Ali bounced back and was able to dance more in the second fight and won that unanimous. The third fight is the knockdown, drag-out fight of all times. And remember how it ended was that after 14 rounds, while Eddie Futch, the trainer for Joe Frazier, is saying he can't continue because he's got one eye that's already damaged from previous fight, and the other one's closed. He couldn't see.
Right.
Meanwhile, Ali is telling Angelo Dundee in his corner, cut my gloves off. I can't go anymore.
Right.
And Ferdy Pacheco, Ali's doctor, always contended if both of them had gone back into the ring for the last round, there would have been a fatality. That's how close they both were to death.
Right.
So Ali won while Ali was trying to quit in his corner.
Right.
Okay? Because
that's an awesome fact.
Frazier. Okay, but the point is that I think Frazier was motivated by this.
Yeah.
I think he laid it on Ali just the way Ali was motivated by a lot of fighters not calling him by his new real name.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was incensed. If you did not call him Muhammad Ali, if you referred to him as his term, his slave name, he punished you. I think Ernie Terrell learned the hard way. I think Floyd Patterson learned the hard way.
It clearly was a tactical error then. Like it was a decision, but it was a tactical error. Right. Some men actually, if you insult them and you egg them on, you're actually pushing them towards a better performance.
Right.
So you got to know who you're talking to also. I know as a competitor myself, I compete from within. So if you start talking trash to me, I'm going to shut down, be quiet, and start focusing more on the strategy.
Right.
Some guys, though, as they're exchanging trash talking, I know you got that on the gridiron. Yeah. It's like, hey, man, you'll tell somebody, like, shut up. This dude's getting better. You're pissing him off.
But I also know you did not cross some line.
No,
There's some line you would not cross.
No, I like I said, I believe I can talk about your performance and you without making it personal, talk about your wife or your religion or things like that. And that was really, Skip, I believe that's the only time, and I've heard a lot of his footage and a lot of his interviews, that I felt he crossed the line.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I know.
He was as good as it was.
But can you imagine football in the 70s with the Raiders and that era? What kind of trash talk took place on the field? Do you think they crossed the line?
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure. Look,
exactly.
I know for a fact, I talked to some of the old guys that white guys use the N-word
you know they
on
did.
the football field. Now, if you use that now, it's going to be a fight.
It's going to be a social media fight, suspension, all types of difference. Exactly.
So to finish this off, after Ali suffered from Parkinson's and lost his speech, Joe Frazier was quoted as saying, he can't talk no more because he was saying the wrong things. Meaning God punished him.
He felt God punished him, yes.
Right? Whew. Really? Yeah. Okay, we can't let you go without one quick thought on your Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh,
my God. Just sum it up.
How you
where
doing?
are they? What are they?
The Lakers, man, when they were going after AD, I just felt like they were so disrespectful. I really did. I don't ever feel like they offered a trade package that was beneficial for New Orleans. It was just kind of like, think about it, and I'm a LeBron James fan as well, though, but LeBron has never demanded a trade anywhere he's been. So why was AD talked into demanding a trade? I wish they would have been a little more patient. Hopefully they'll get their front office issues together. The person I would really like them to see them get, and I posted it on my Instagram, was Bradley Beal. I posted it then because it was a mutually beneficial trade. The second John Wall went down, Washington unknowingly went right into rebuild mode with that contract. So now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you got Lonzo Ball, you have somebody who deserves to lead a team, maybe get a whole season underneath leading the team without somebody looking over his shoulder, no bench play. He's the starter, he's the guy. It's becoming.
So you're not afraid to give up Lonzo Ball long term for Bradley Beal short term?
Oh no, not Bradley Beal would be a great addition to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Great.
Guys are
Lonzo Ball could
Historical roast. Watch Historical roast on Netflix.
Yes.
Way to go.
Very good.
Yes, make sure
Thank
to
you.
check out Historical
Thank you.
Roast on
Good job,
Netflix,
Ross.
Jaleel.
Awesome.
So good to have
Absolutely.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining us. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
DeMarcus Cousins has been out for a month and a half with a quad injury, but he is listed as questionable for Game 1 of the finals. Boogie participated in a scrimmage yesterday, but Steve Kerr said the timing of his injury is tricky because it, quote, takes big guys longer to find their rhythm. So, Shannon, how should Golden State handle the situation?
I wouldn't mess with it. They're playing too well, Skip. And it would be easier to incorporate KD than Boogie because Skip, Boogie greatly changes their offense. KD, yeah, he changes it somewhat because he could be a great ISO player, but Boogie really needs the ball to be beneficial. And that means if Boogie has the ball, guess who doesn't?
Yep.
Steph, Klay. I wouldn't, Skip, it's hard for an athlete. You want to be out there, and Boogie has waited for this moment. He waited all these years to get to the playoffs. Now he's on the grandest stage, and he's injured. And you want to be accommodating as a head coach. This is why they make the big bucks. Everybody thinks it's about X's and O's, but it's how do I placate these personalities? How do I blend this?
Yep.
So now Steve Kerr must make that $7, $8, $9 million a year that he's getting paid to make a decision on this.
Yep.
Skip, I wouldn't mess with it. I'm sorry. I know, Boogie, you might, we don't know what's going to happen with you moving forward.
Nope.
But this is an opportunity for me to win a championship, and I wouldn't tinker with it.
This is why I think Steve Kerr is sitting on the hottest seat in all of sports, and he's got the favorite in the NBA Finals. I wouldn't want to be sitting in that seat because what do I do with Kevin Durant, number one? If he says he wants to come back after 2 games, is he right? Can he get back in any kind of a semblance of basketball shape?
Well, if you're down 0-2, it makes it easy if he wants to come back. You put his ass in there.
All right, do you? And if you want to keep him next year and he wants to play, you better put his, what.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
And somewhat the same for DeMarcus. I love DeMarcus.
I do too.
But he is, like in his years in Sacramento, he would be at the top of usage rate every year. He'd be 1, 2, 3 in usage rate. He needs the basketball.
He needs
the
it.
offense goes through him.
Right.
He has always been the center of attention, literally the center of attention, wherever he was in Kentucky or going back to high school, was in Birmingham or
in Alabama.
Mobile, I think it was. And he's always been the superstar. And now you're going to say, hey, DeMarcus, I need you to play 7 minutes tonight. When Steph rests, I need you to come in and give us a little quick pop on offense and maybe play some defense for us. What?
I was saying 10 minutes. I'm like, how does Steve Kerr carve out 10 minutes for Boogie that he's playing?
How do you do that?
I don't.
Because his ego's not going to accept this. Trust me, it's not.
Kevon Looney could accept 10 minutes.
He does.
Boogie Cousins needs 25 to 30 minutes.
If you don't like the way Kevon is performing or you don't like the matchup, you just say he's out.
Right. Plus, you got Bogut.
You got Bogut.
Like I said, with the way they're going along, Skip, I mean, they're looking as good over the last 5 games as they looked at any point in time during the season, and that's with Kevin Durant. I don't know how you bring Boogie and incorporate him into that mix and say, you know what, hey, we're not going to miss a beat. I just don't know how you do it.
I don't either. I don't know how you placate his ego because I'm sure the biggest shock to Steve Kerr was usually I thought he ruptured his quad.
Yes, I did.
Well, it
too.
had to just be torn,
right?
Tear. Because Tony Parker last year, I know you hate the story, but 2 years ago, he ruptured it.
Yes.
It tore in half.
Yes.
It's a 6-month rehab, and he rushed that back.
Right.
But now, the last game DeMarcus played was April 15th, and now he's saying, Coach, put me back in. I'm ready to go.
Like 9 weeks, 9.5, 10 weeks.
Okay. What are you doing? I'm sure Steve Kerr would wish he'd just go away.
He must have went to Wakanda.
Yeah. Well, he might have. LeBron went to Wakanda.
No, LeBron in the backyard on them Cohibas.
Really?
Yeah. He and Russ, they was out there having a good old time.
Said he cut back.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, he just do like 1 a week now.
1 a week? You sure about that?
I know your guy does 6 a day.
Who?
You know who.
He's retired.
6 a day.
Yeah.
Them old slow-burning ones, too.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what kind of...
Let's stay talking about Steve Kerr, guys, because I like this story. Did Greg Popovich maybe tell some secrets to him about stopping number 2?
Yep.
We'll
Why would he do that?
discuss
Here we go.
exactly what we mean next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Steve Kerr had an interesting dinner companion Friday night in San Francisco. Greg Popovich. Pop coach Kerr in San Antonio, but more importantly, Pop coach Kawhi Leonard for the first 7 years of his career. And Kerr and the Warriors just happen to be playing Kawhi in the finals starting Thursday. So, Shannon, what can Kerr learn about Kawhi from Pop?
Nothing. Kawhi was the same guy that was dropping that thunder on him in game one with a cheap shot, slid his size 17 shoe up on his foot on the jump shot, and it ended it. So they know what he represents. He scored 37 in his only game against them this year. KD went for 51. So he knows what Kawhi represents. There's no insight that Coach Pop can provide that Steve Kerr doesn't already know.
I disagree because Greg Popovich loves Steve Kerr like a son, and he does not love what number 2 did to his franchise. So he can tell him just what defensive strategy bothers him the most.
Nothing.
What are his weaknesses?
He jump over it.
Yeah. What does he think the most about? What does he dwell on? What trash talk gets under his skin?
Well, clearly Coach Popovich didn't know him because if he'd have known him, he'd have known that you couldn't send guys down there to try to get him into talking to playing. So he surely didn't know him as well as he thought he did.
By that time, he was a lost cause.
No, he was never a lost
Uncle
cause.
Dennis, his new advisor, wanted him out of San Antonio. So no matter what would have been said from that point on, it was over.
I want him away from guys that's going to attack him. I don't want teammates. That's going to attack me.
Well, what makes him tick? I'll bet you that Greg Popovich told Steve Kerr everything basketball-wise that makes him tick or not tick.
Nothing.
Why?
They don't know what makes Kawhi tick.
Yeah, they do.
Kawhi doesn't even know what makes Kawhi tick. Kawhi just doing what he do.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
Gonna
he might
give it
not
to
be
him.
able to do it quite as much.
Well, we will find out. You want something on game one?
Way to go. No,
would've
I already
loved to
told
be
you
at
who's
that
going to win.
dinner.
I said Toronto's going to win game 1.
Well, I got the Warriors, so we're going to have a little bet.
Really? Okay, we can do
A
that.
little bet.
That
We'll just
is it
switch
for us.
up.
We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.